What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. This is another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. And I'm just chopping it up with you all a little bit. Like I said, this channel is still under construction. So, I'm kind of giving it a breather a little bit. So I just wanted to chop it up with you all, let you all know I'm still here. I've been kind of popping up on other channels here and there, but for the most part, having kind of a reset. I see there's quite a few people live, so shout out to them. But yeah, I'm just gonna be hanging out for hopefully like 30 minutes to an hour. It just depends on, how this goes. Kind of watching this inauguration a little bit. So yeah, what's good, Jim Rat? What's up, Scott? T3. I appreciate the super chat, Sam. I am definitely appreciate that, and I always appreciate y'all super chats. Definitely. If anybody wants to hop on, you definitely can. Also, this is going to be a conversation. One of the reasons I wanted to do this as well. No, I'm not lying to myself. As you all can see, y'all haven't seen them, but I've been working on a lot of uploads. It's just I got to get back into the rhythm of doing uploads again. So that's a little bit of a different rhythm because I want to keep the time down. And I've been good at keeping the time down. Like my mindset on the time is right. It's just I'm kind of being hesitant about what I'm saying. The flow is not the same because it's a little bit more controlled. Yeah, appreciate the super chat, Alan Whitley. So there's that. Also, I want to thank Hunter out there too for the super chat over Martin Luther King Day, the $7.50 super chat. That is definitely appreciated. And if you all want me, I know, shout out to Roastmaster. And I like over a year later, I do need to get into the topic on talking about the topic he asked me for a while ago, talking about news, talking about like black women of old as far as how they were portrayed in the media. Women now, it always seems I'm looking up because I'm looking down to this. So yeah, I know that looks weird, but whatever. I really don't see looking at the TV, then looking down. So whatever, man. But anyway, I need to get back on that. I definitely do. And do that one. That will be an upload. It'll be coming down the pipeline. The Kamala sexual. Jim Rat says so. But if you all want me to cover a topic, I mean, attaching it to a super chat can't hurt. That doesn't guarantee I'm gonna cover it. So you all need to keep in mind of what you all start to see that I'm doing with uploads. And then if it's within that range, I'll definitely cover it. Or what I might do is I might do kind of like a thing where I do 30 minutes where I do rapid fire with topics and stuff like that as well. That'll probably mean that I'm thinking about it, make it a lot more likely that I'll cover it because I can kind of give it the time it needs to give my opinion on stuff. So that's definitely something you all want to do as I start to do more uploads. Now I'm still going to be doing lives. I'm still going to be doing all of that. So that's not going anywhere. Think of, it's not so much I'm going to be doing different things. It's more like the stuff it's going to be things added into it. So there's a core of what I did that may alter a little bit differently, but then it's going to be things around that actually create a real fleshed up, truly channel. So this is more of me converting it into an actual channel. This is me actually doing it. So you're going to see like me really applying things you haven't seen before. The type of quality of stuff is definitely going to increase. Now, what did what's it called say with the Kamala sexual? Yeah, my mother was crying on the phone during the inauguration. She's a Kamala sexual. I almost blocked her for real. Well, I'm gonna tell you, Jim Rat, you don't have to block your mom. What you can do is just unfollow her from Facebook. That way, you don't see her posts. So you only see her posts when you want to. Another thing a lot of you all can do on Facebook as well is you all can segment your posts. So I know we all create these like phantom channels that allows us to share this information more. What you all could also do is just segment, put everybody on a list. And I'm going to be doing tutorials like that as well, because one of the things is we got to be a little bit better about how we discern this information, because everything ain't for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody. And we got to stop. We got to start. Yes, you want to expand, but you also want to expand it to the people that are ready to hear it. Not try to put, because we know how we are emotional. We just know that. So it is what it is. It's actually something I want to try real quick now that I'm thinking about it. And I want to see if let me do this. I want to try something real quick. And I want to, now that I got you all up here, I'm gonna use this to do a mic check. Let y'all bring some stuff in here. Settings. Yes. No. Okay. All right. It's something I'm testing. It's a trick. Let's see. Yeah, boy. They gave him a whole bunch of shit. We need you to sign. They said, we need you to sign that shit. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing a series covering Biden, kind of like a White House correspondent thing. I'm not going to be covering all the time, but this channel is going to have videos. Appreciate it, Jim Rat. The good, the bad, the ugly. Make sure y'all get them likes up. See what they talking about. And I'm also going to do a video. I got to get the information on it, but I'm definitely doing a fucking video on what CNN said. I'm watching CNN now talking about some influencers have too much influence. No, they don't. Here's the thing, man. If people are there's a difference between people putting up inaccurate information that they can't substantiate at all, and people, and fucking people, like, that's bullshit. And one thing is, trust me, I'm under no illusions as to what they did to those white folks. They can do it to them. They can do it to anybody. So this is why I'm saying people got to be prepared for that. And this is why we can't be just on everything that's obvious. But yeah, there's ways to do shit. Like, cause trust me, there's a lot of y'all that I follow that are following me on Facebook that y'all just put up too much bullshit. So I don't unfriend you. I just unfollow you on Facebook so I can still, communicate with you all. I mean, you just got to learn how to work the platform. But yeah, as far as what he said about his mom, no, absolutely, man. Like, my thing is, why are you crying? Like, thank God, my mom didn't do that shit. It's not that big of a deal. Like, black people are way too emotionally connected to what the fuck is on TV and not the fuck what's going on in their lives. Like, a lot hasn't really changed. At the end of the day, any of you all that got that $600 check, congratulations. Trump didn't hold that up. That's one of the main reasons you got it. So, like, this idea of what's really real and what's not, and using the TV to inform your reality to that extent, that's a problem. And sometimes you just got to leave those people be. You just do. You got to love them from a distance. Keep them arm's length. I mean, for real. Oh, I'm paying attention to the clock, Don Calypso. In case y'all want to come up. Anybody got something to say about it to me, now's the time to say it. Sam, I appreciate that you like my channel the way it already is. I appreciate that. But obviously we can get better, and I'm deciding I want to take this out of kind of like Instagram vlog mode into actual I've been told that I'm gonna be permanently working from home and shit like that. So I'm gonna have a lot more time to do a lot more shit. Like I've been doing that, but I mean, now that I know that's permanent, like I'll pretty much always be online to a certain extent. I may not always be on a chat. That's the thing a lot of people don't understand. Motherfuckers be like, why are you online all the time? It's because fuck, I work from home. I know you don't understand what that is, not you, but people that say that, but whatever. Don Calypso says people think that the Trump being gone, happy days are ahead, like the end of the Clone Wars. They're cheering the death of the Republic. I mean, my thing is this. One thing about I will say, I understand the history of Joe Biden, and we're not going to deny that history. Like I'll be doing videos covering a lot of that, or covering that. Or doing videos really covering that and giving the good, the bad, the ugly, because there is something to be said about black men. A lot of black people co-signed that those laws when they were being implemented. And so Joe Biden is not completely wrong by saying that. And this comes back to, we need to start looking at what we need to look at as a people. Also, you need to understand that those laws targeted black men. So when people say black people negatively, you got to understand that means black men. So trust me, we're going to cover the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to same thing with Kamala Harris, but I'm going to keep calling her Kamala. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to make this a political channel, but that's going to be an aspect where that stuff is talked about. But also I'm going to be paying attention to what goes on now. What's going on. Like I gotta start looking at the camera. Like what goes on as far as what's going on now. Like I'm not gonna say that it's not significant that you have the first Colin Powell was the Secretary of State. So and the Secretary of Defense is just as a prominent role that Biden did that. I'm not gonna ignore. I mean, I'm not saying these are like, oh my God, I'm voting for him. Remember, I didn't vote for him. I voted for a third party. But remember, and also the fact that the dude that ran for South Carolina that lost, that you made him the DNC chair, which kind of paves the way for him maybe to do another Senate run. These are black men. I'm not going to ignore these things. We'll see what the dude in Georgia does. We'll see that. But, we'll see that. Trust me, I know the bullshit from not the bullshit. And we'll have people come on like I know BGS doesn't like talking domestic politics, but and politics is not going to be a big part of what I do, but it's going to be in there because a lot of what I'm going to do is trending news, but it's going to be a variety of trending news. It's going to be definitely designed to inform black men in particular. Most of what I do will have black men in mind, but keep in mind, if I have a 70%, 75% or 70% black male audience and 30% everything else, then that's still a black male channel. Jim Rat says, I'm personally worried about Jim Crow Joe and Kamala, the cop. They're trying to make us third class. Honestly, they don't care about black men like that. Black men are 6% of the population. And what BGS says, they got bigger things to worry about than worry about us. They do. Remember, Kamala is a vice president. She's not an attorney general. So her job role is whatever Biden says it is. And honestly, you have to understand that the Democratic Party is not trying to lose the black vote. What they're trying to do is merge it with the Latin vote. But their goal, and if they have to, the Latin vote is an emerging vote. So, we'll see. But the truth is, what Joe Biden did, that stuff is trending down as far as prison shit. Now, obviously, it's way too many black men in prison. Obviously, if you're gonna let these white dudes do heroin and not go to jail, then it's time to release all these black people because y'all paying for them for free healthcare anyway. Any black man that's in jail for any black people, they say he's swearing in political appointees right now. Any black people that's in jail for marijuana charges need to come out. All of that. Yeah, what's up, Titan? So it's nothing to be worried about. Your situation is not going to change because Joe Biden is not going to be different than Trump's. Jim Rat says, your mom has Kamala shirts. Yeah, that's goofy. I'm not going to lie. That's goofy. That's goofy no matter who's the president. That's goofy. Because the thing about it is, and I was just saying this to DC on Art and Assault. I forget. Art of Igmore, Artisan, Art of Igmore. Goddamn, like Art and Install stuff. You had DC from the Code Breakers on there, and he was talking about how am I getting triggered on Kamala. I said, I really am indifferent to Kamala for the most part. I get annoyed by how black people, particularly black women, approach it. Again, black women, they care so much about being seen. They don't care about the reality of the situation. Oh, we have somebody that looks like me up there. And this is how they get used and manipulated. And this is why you can never see, people don't understand. The reason why black men and black women can't get on the same page is because black women have completely different priorities than what black men would have. Black women give a fuck about being perceivably accepted in this country. That's what they care about. They don't really care about anything real. They care about how they are perceived on the media. They're way too glued into, and see, I'm not talking about your mother, but understand that the news is a form of reality TV. So black people are way too plugged into the news and shit. They just are. Having a Kamala mug and all of that. I mean, I thought that was goofy with Obama, but I let it go because the first black. It's like, are you even really serious about politics, or are you just playing some pageantry bullshit? And I see way too many black women falling into that. And this is how they don't care about tangibles. They really don't. Because the truth is, they get tangibles from the government. They don't get a lot, but they get them. It's black men that don't get tangibles. But that's enough about, talk about what your mom is doing. Because I ain't trying to talk about nobody's mom. Tread lightly on that. I'm speaking in general, though, because that's what I've seen. Yeah, she can be all that. She's also your vice president, unfortunately. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would much prefer her being vice president than being attorney general. Appreciate the super chat, Steve Mayfield. You want to know somebody I don't want to see in the White House at all, though? I definitely don't want to. Susan Rice. That's somebody I don't want to see in there. Already got a commercial for Moist Men running. Hi, y'all need to start pausing the shit and start taking pictures and screenshots. That's one thing that's going to be great about my Telegram when I do another Telegram group. A lot of you all, it's going to be kind of like a Discord where a lot of you all be able to do voice messages, upload stuff. So if you see stuff, you can upload it. It's going to be a really good communication. I don't know about doing the Discord. I got to determine what I want to do because I don't want to. I'm actually looking into TikTok as well. And I got other shit to do. I don't want to be doing everything. And when you have to have a certain focus. Officially the United States of China. Not really. Like I'm going to tell you right now, Jim Rat, I'm with BGS on that. A lot of black men, y'all got to get away from that. Democrats are not communists. Democrats are not Marxists. Democrats in many ways have more money than Republicans do. Appreciate the super chat, Steve Mayfield. All of that Marxism, y'all tying homosexuality to Marxism. Some of the most anti-homosexual countries is China and Russia. So I'm completely with BGS on that. Y'all are tying shit together that is not meant to be tied together. See, I understand that black men are traditionally conservative. Now, BGS says we're fiscally conservative, but we're liberal. I don't really agree with that, but whatever. I think we're overall conservative. We still believe in the family structure and stuff by default. The problem comes in where how we start to interpret like the politics of emasculation for black men. And I think black men start to go into like certain side tracks on things. This is where black men start to in trying to identify and give meaning to what's going on. They start to fall into certain traps or certain like sand pits of logic or logic loops. So one of it is this idea of communism and this idea of Marxism. Let's be clear here. There are a lot of countries outside of the West that you have to pay for public education. There is no such thing as public education. To put your kids into through kindergarten to like high school, there's a cost to that. And I'm not talking about taxes that everybody put the bill. It's almost like doing private school. You have to pay for school. Otherwise, your kids don't know shit. And the problem is, so there's certain things that you all are used to that you all would not consider Marxism or communism. America, even under any Republican, there's a lot of things in this country you could say is socialism. It's just you don't think about it because you grew up with it. So we have that logic loop. We have the celebrity logic loop. And a lot of y'all have been listening to too much Jordan Peterson, too much fucking Alan Jones. Y'all are listening to some of these white dudes and y'all want to try to identify with some of the shit that they're saying when they're saying the shit they're saying for their own agenda. And we fall into these logic traps where we talk, it's communism, it's Marxism, it's this, it's that. You know, y'all got to get away from that because that shit, number one, that shit's time wasting. And number two, it's not even accurate. It's not accurate. Applying the like, it's not accurate. It's not. Like, for instance, when you look at Joe Biden is he's a Dixiecrat, but he's not a communist. Yeah, he may believe in unions, but that's not communism. So I don't think people have their proper orientation of what these things are when they come to that. And this is not me trying to be like, look, Joe Biden still represents the Democratic Party. And I have a lot of issues with the Democratic Party as well as Republicans. The thing you always see me talk about is you are not going to use one party in order to excuse another. You're not going to tell me to vote for one party because of another party. That I am not going to do. We're going to look at things both sides and we're going to call bullshit out everything. But what I'm not going to do is like, happy communism day. Dwayne is like happy communism. Like, no, that's not what that is. And when y'all say shit like that, that lets me know y'all don't really have a true sense of what those words actually mean. Those are like, to me, that's like you all talk about Duke versus UNC or your favorite football or basketball team. And I just apply a certain type of seriousness to it that I'm not going to do shit like that because I'm not here to promote a narrative. I'm here to say what the facts are. My channel will always be loyal to what the facts are first, irregardless if you niggas like it, if a bitch likes it or whatever. Or at least the facts that I know it. Sir, saying influence have too much influence is a dangerous statement. It is. Now that I want to talk about. So my thing is, this is the thing. This is what you got to understand. CNN is a corporation. All your media is owned by corporations. You know this. I don't need to tell you this, but it's important. It's very important to understand it. It's also important. I always like those little graphics that show like the companies, like the 6 companies that control your media, like Fox, Viacom, CNN is owned by Time, which I think might be owned by AT&T now. Obviously ABC is owned by Disney. Like all of your news, we already know Fox, because technically the Murdoch family, they still own Fox News. They sold off like the other entertainment arm of Fox, but they still own News Corp. And they sold that, and I don't even think they got control of Sky like that, but they do. So when you understand, there's like 6 companies. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this. Like, I'm looking at like what they're talking about Biden needs to do. I'm gonna jump back on this. I agree with the climate change accord because I do agree with climate change. I agree we need to do technology in order to make that happen. They do a lot of solar panels in here, so I think there's a lot of opportunity there. We do need to take climate change seriously. I agree with that. Fuck the wall, because people ain't even getting paid for that, and it ain't like these immigrants still ain't getting over here. That always was bullshit to me. Reverse travel ban on Muslim majority countries. Yeah, I get that. Extend pause on student loan payments. I agree with a pause, but I definitely don't agree with forgiving the loans. I agree with giving student loans some relief, but I don't believe in forgiving student loans. Fuck them motherfuckers. They want to think they all that because they got the loans. Let them pay for the shit. They were smart enough to pay for it. They smart enough to go get it. They smart enough to pay for it. That's on them. Stop U.S. withdrawal from, I don't know what the fuck that is. The 100-day math challenge, I'm cool with that. Extend the eviction, yeah, I'm cool with that. The DACA shit, I'm not cool with that. But the DACA is only like 600, 900,000 people. I would be cool with that if all the other immigrant shit wasn't coming along with it. Also, Democrats are not going to do anything when it comes to stopping motherfuckers from coming here. That needs to be in the conversation. So yeah, a lot of this shit I'm not like completely against. It just is what it is. I think black men are gonna be all right, but I think black men will be all right, but they'll ignore black people for other groups. Of course they're gonna do that, but Republicans do that too. So nothing's changed. But like the thing is, Jim Rat, black people have to start, and I'm gonna get back to the other thing, but black people have to start being better about advocating what we want. We have to start putting, and I'm talking about black men in particular, we got to start putting money behind our shit. And that doesn't just start with politics, that starts with everything. You look at all the areas of activity, you look at the holes that we can punch, you get behind the people that are doing good work, and you make that happen. Like the media arm is kind of where we're at. And we need to do a good job supporting good media, putting money. But I'm not talking about just super chat and shit. I'm talking about really bundling and pooling money together. We got to make the manosphere something that people want to be a part of. I'm talking about black men of consequence. I'm not talking about necessarily bringing women over. I'm talking about black men. And this is what a lot of y'all don't understand about the woman piece. If you have I'm not talking about making them a part of the manosphere, but if you create sectors that can overlay with the manosphere so it's not perceived that we're like anti this, anti that. Yeah, so I'm gonna get in that in a second. But as far as the CNN thing, I'm gonna do a video on that because that's definitely dangerous what they did. You got to understand CNN is owned by corporations so that makes the fucking news no different than what you see on social media. Because trust me, they have editors and their editors choose what to put out. We know as black men in particular, hell, though it's a running joke. It's a running joke. It's a running joke that when they say when they don't show a picture of a white person, whenever it's like a terrorist attack or like a shooting, you already know at that point, you already know that it's a white person. So yes, they choose how they wanna, put shit out there. Think of it, black people would have did that bullshit. And to be fair, with the George Floyd situation, it wasn't like they said some shit, but when you look at the looting that kept on happening and it wasn't just black people that were doing it, but the image, the way they could have went, they didn't. But the reality is that was at the White House. Or the fucking Congressional building. So, but understand that's the only difference between Facebook and Twitter and anything else. The news is the news. CNN and MSNBC, they're people that cover it. So they have influence because the X amount of people watch them and they're telling you. That is no different than anybody else. And that includes Alex Jones. So what they're really doing, so they don't have a moral authority because they are not the news. CNN is not the news. They are covering it and they bring other news into it and cover certain stories and they cover their own. But usually they're covering the same fucking story, like this inauguration. So, when they say that, that's like a big time influencer saying it, but it's just not them. Like I'll give you a perfect example. Take the Young Turks, for example. The Young Turks isn't one person. They're like the closest thing to like a really news organization. I definitely would like us to model something like that. But that's no different than CNN. They're choosing to cover what they want to cover. So they don't have a moral authority to basically say, well, because it's on TV, we should have it. Because the thing about it is, on my TV right now, I can watch anybody on YouTube. O'Shea Duke Jackson, all of this. Yes, you can use that for good or for evil, but CNN has certain amounts of access. The reason why influencers, one of the reasons why influencers can even do what they can do is because people have lost confidence in what the major news networks have done. So if anything, this says, look, if you all are not trustworthy with all the access that you get, then people are going to go with other people. And that's on you all. That's you all not covering what's right, and you all covering what benefits your corporations. You could cut, like, just like how the Washington Post is owned by Amazon. I'm under no illusions to, like, I look at the news mainly for the headlines, and then mainly I read it, and then I go and then I look for things that create a pattern to determine if that shit's true. That's no different than if BGS says something or anybody else. Now, certain people I trust more than others, so I may vet certain people less because they've demonstrated they are right and they generally show their sources. But CNN is just another big influencer. That's all they are. And I'm sorry, I wish it wasn't the case, but it is the case. Now, as far as what I was talking about with the manosphere, again, the biggest thing that hems us up in the manosphere is this idea that the manosphere is a gender warring organization, or we're a gender warring like group, and we're not. We're about what the truth is. And I know that's true because we stay arguing with other black men about what the truth is. That's what we're about. We are not about, oh, well, if it's a black man, we let them skate. No, we don't. We're always arguing with other black men about shit. But it's just like the thing with net neutrality. It's just like net neutrality. Will IR says, I'm just gonna go global. I'm done with domestic. We'll do like the wealthy folks and become a global citizen. Yeah, you should be a global citizen. All black men should aim to be a global citizen. That should be a rite of passage. Absolutely. But I'm not gonna become a global citizen because I'm just mad that shit didn't go my way. It shouldn't matter if shit's going your way or if it's not. A lot of y'all are just now dialed into what's really going on. And because shit doesn't, it's like what happens when young people vote for the first time. If shit doesn't go your way, you get mad. Like, for instance, like I voted, first time I voted, I was 18 years old. It was my birthday. That's how close election is on to my day. It's always like that Tuesday of the week that my birthday. So, I voted for John Kerry. I didn't want John Kerry. I voted for John Kerry, and I wanted the other guy in the primaries. Let's see. Yeah, Richard Dixon. So when a lot of people say stupid shit like, oh, you're online all the time, I'm like, dude, I work from home, dude. This is my office. This is not even my main room. This is why you see shit everywhere. Sometimes I actually have a bed. I have an air mattress right to the right because sometimes I'm on and I just doing other business work and stuff. And I say, fuck it, I'm going to sleep right in here. And I get up. But people don't understand that because if it's not in their experience, they don't know how to interpret it. And that's unfortunate. The Black Brain Trust is really good. They do really good work. They got a really good library. And the thing is, the Black Brain Trust is not meant to be like this big thing. What they're meant to be is something that we can kind of refer to and build it through that way. And shout out to MOT. Yes, I have seen MOT covering politics, and he's doing a great job. The dude in Georgia will do what his handlers tell him to do. That's no different than any other. What's the difference between him and any other senator? What's the difference between him and the other senator, a black dude, not Rick Scott. I think it is Rick Scott. And Rick Scott is a senator in Florida, but the other senator in South Carolina. What's the difference? You think he has an independent thought? They all have handlers. They all have handlers. The thing about it, though, is he knows that it's not going to be easy for him to get reelected in South Carolina, in Georgia as a Democrat. So he's going to have to really he's got to be dialed in more than most people, unless he just wants to be there for 6 years. So he's a little bit more on a leash. And again, Like, even with that mentality, my question is, you people vote for people. This is what black people do. We vote for people and we just expect them to do what the fuck we sent them there to do. You have to be in their ass. You have to be. You have to make it very clear this is what you want and this is what's important. You had 6 years to do so. Black people don't do that. We just say, oh, well, they're going to be with the handlers. And then we don't do shit because we expect these people to just keep on doing shit when you got these other interests that are constantly in their ear. Wow. Motherfuckers were old as hell. They old as hell now. You sure the dude in South Carolina is another Andrew Gill? I don't know. I don't know if he is or not. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not looking for all these niggas gay that are running for office. Now, if it's something that jumps out in my face, that I'm not gonna ignore it. But at the end of the day, again, I say black people have to get good at sending candidates to them. You got to start funding your candidates. Until you do, you deal with the people that you have. At the end of the day, man, that's who's there. I mean, think about it. He's in South Carolina. So, I mean, no, it didn't cross my mind that he'd be gay and fuck yourself. And remember, he was a state senator. He was a state senator. It ain't like they plucked him out of hat. So was Stacey Abrams. That's another thing y'all need to start learning. They keep pulling these Obama. They're pulling them from the state Senate. You all have a lot more control than you think you do. Okay, I mean, yes, Trump's not there no more. So what are we talking about? NBA fan, I understand that. Trump's not there no more. And I mean, this idea that Trump was better for black men, you all are basically juxtaposing that against the Democratic Party. Trump was not a black male savior. Okay, let's not be under any illusions to that. He wasn't. Some of you all have kind of an irrational. I don't lean on any president, no matter who the fuck they are. I'm not a fanboy of anybody. So when I see somebody like they have like an irrational loyalty to people, it's like, you are like, what? How long did you really think he was gonna be there? Yeah, I defend the fact that Trump is not as bad as they make it sound like, but make no mistake, there's a reason I didn't vote for Trump either. A lot of the stuff that needed to be done as far as exposing like how shit really works, guess what? It was done, and you got your climax with them white folks running up on the Congress building. So they can't say it didn't happen. That's the only real reason I was cool with him being in the White House. I doubt Sloppy Joe, it will be really, he's senile. No, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think he's as senile as y'all. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think he's as senile as y'all make him out to be. I do not think he's that senile. Now, he is old, but I don't believe he's that senile. You can see on that fucking phone call he had, he ain't that senile. Remember, he don't have to be on the clock all the time. He's got, you can tell by who he's brought in there. Now, let me be very clear here. I said before that a lot of his agenda is going to be ran. It's going to be ran by committee, and you be the weak president. So let me be very clear. I said that. But with that being said, it ain't going to be a situation. He knows why he's there. He's there as a transition. But at the same time, you can see he's bringing people in. And keep in mind, this was before he won, and this is before I knew who he was bringing in there. The first person he brought in there was the dude that actually wrote the crime bill. The dude that actually wrote the crime bill. What he said, put in there, I need you to put the legalese in that shit. That's who's in there with him. He's got people around him that are on the same page. He's got a couple people here, a couple people there. Anybody he don't want to talk to, he's gonna make them talk to Kamala. And then you got the women in the Senate. But you got to also understand that Joe Biden also knows a lot of Republicans. That they know he's a white man. They know he is a white man that is for white people. So all of this bullshit and all this extra shit is going to be harder for them to pull. I'm seeing this dude out of North Carolina, out of Raleigh on CNN right now. This dude kills me, man. Reverend delivery home inaugural prayer service Thursday. Okay. They trying to elevate this dude out of Raleigh. Go ahead. No, I got you, but I ain't trying, how black people are with their mama. You can say what you want to say about yours, but I start saying shit. I'm like, y'all be thinking because I run my mouth a lot that I don't got no governors on what I be saying. Trust me, what I say on here is what I would say to your face. So I'm not out here trying to. Let me see. But it's all good. But my thing is, I'm focused. Like, we need to be focused on expansion and not focused on like the woe is me bullshit. Shit is gonna be what the fuck is gonna be. The question is, what you gonna do to navigate through it and win? Man, fuck Van Jones. I'll give Van Jones credit for Black Men Code. I'm gonna give credit for that because that shit matters. And people like to act like motherfuckers don't be doing shit. But Van Jones do need to kill that crying shit. Yep. So yeah. He said TikTok will get me caught up with TikToks. I've been looking. There's a lot more content on there than just thoughts on TikTok. Because I'm not gonna do goofy. You're not gonna see me do goofy shit for TikTok. Fuck that. So I was like, okay, is there like a pathway to do the type of content I would want to do on TikTok? And there is. The question is my market on TikTok? Is my audience on TikTok? Man-hating feminist. What does that mean? Tariq Nasheed and Jason Black were having a field day on Twitter today. Oh, I got to check that out. The reason why I stay away from Twitter a little bit is because I prefer to use Telegram as like my method of communicating, but I'm sure they were. But even Tariq Nasheed and Jason Black, sometimes you can get looped into their shit a little bit too much. What's up, Hunter? Yeah, I just gave you credit for giving me that super chat on MLK Day. I appreciate that, Hunter. So you're saying the attack on the nuclear family is not Marxist. So the attack on Christianity is not the attack on Christianity. First of all, Christianity, the Marxism is about the attack of religion itself, not Christianity in particular. That's number one. Number two, and Christianity is still alive and well. And a lot of Democrats, in fact, most Democrats are still Christians. I don't know what you're talking about there. As far as the attack on the nuclear family, Democrats are not attacking the nuclear family. The truth is the fourth industrial wave is attacking the nuclear family. So it's about being post-industrialism. That's what it's about. So again, you're taking two concepts and trying to apply that to Marxism. So, and yes, I said, because most of these Democrats have nuclear fucking families. So what are you talking about? Basically, what you all are doing is you all are really low-key going after homosexuality and just calling it Marxist. Now, I don't give a fuck about that if that's what you're doing, because I'm not really for homosexuality like that. But just say that's what it is. Okay, Jay, unsubscribe, bye-bye. Because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're on the payroll for hateful campaign. I wish I was, man. I wish I was getting paid for doing this shit. Nigga, like, I got if you got something to say, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Niggas love to have these opinions. Nigga, bring your stupid ass on the fucking stream. Nigga, I just unsubscribed. Nigga, you act like I give a fuck. I was saying the shit I was saying with like 2 subscribers. Hell, I grace my presence on other people's platforms. People kill me with that stupid shit. I get a lot of people that kind of subscribe to me and they can't handle what I'm saying, so they jump off. And they shadow watch. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the YouTube game. But I will come with the I told you so's for my people when Biden and Dems inevitably disappoint. Well, I didn't vote for him. So remember that. Can't listen to Alex Jones, but a lot of dudes, I can tell when a lot of dudes are. Divide and conquer is a tactic. Dude, like the gynocracy, first of all, the gynocracy that you deal with has existed since you got here in the United States. That's not new. The black family start being in, like the shit we deal with from black people. Again, that Marxism shit is a time wasting tactic. Because a lot of the motherfuckers that will talk about Marxism and communism don't talk about the gynocracy. So you all are not really focused and dialed into what the fucking problem is. What you all are doing, you all dial into Marxism and communism because that allows you all to cozy up with like a lot of right-wing extremists, right-wing folks. So it's kind of a way of in-routing around the race problem. That's why I don't like to deal with that, because that's a waste of time. So let's say the Democratic Party is Marxist and communist. Now the fuck what? Now the fuck what? Nothing. So when I hear like niggas they want to lean on these little concepts rather than really focusing on clarity, which makes you all in many ways just as delusional as black women in sometimes, because black women do the same stupid shit. Appreciate that, Lamont Ellis. Marxism, communism. Most of you all don't even have a true concept of politics in that way to even make those assessments. You don't. I've been paying attention to this shit for like more than a decade. I've always been in the social studies and politics. That's the one thing I took with AP. So when a lot of you all say the shit that you all say, a lot of you all are applying emotion to these concepts. America is literally the most liberal, conservative, like the right, in many ways, it's the most right-wing country from a liberal, conservative standpoint. It's the most anti-Marxist. There is no, show me the country that is less, there's more capitalist and less Marxist or communist. Because see, Marxism and communism is actually not the same thing either. But y'all keep lumping them in. Show me the country that's less communist than the United States of America. Show me the country. Nigga, I didn't endorse Kamala Harris. What the fuck are you talking about? When did I endorse Kamala? Nigga, shut your stupid ass up. All right, you say one more dumbass thing, I'm going to help you unsubscribe and block your ass. Because I'm going to say right now, because I'm not trying to be in the old me, but your punk ass, I put the link in there for you to bring your punk ass up. Anybody in the chat, did you all hear me endorse Kamala Harris? Please post if you did. Type 1 if you heard me endorse Kamala Harris. Type 1. Type 1. Type 2 if you did it. You say one more stupid thing and you're going to get the green light to get your ass out of here. But you still listening to me, but you triggered. No, nigga, if you triggered, I'm going to help you go. I've been the main one talking shit about Kamala Harris. Nigga, shut your stupid ass up. Actually, listen to a couple of videos before you run your fucking mouth. I hate people that say shit off of feelings. Supposedly you got a business. You're full of shit. You're a black man. Nigga, you don't know who the fuck I am. Shut the fuck up. I'm the one that brought the gynocracy to the manosphere. All these niggas talk about Marxism and communism. I'm saying what's actually affecting your black ass. All politicians are political hacks beholden to corporate interests. What are you talking about? And the main corporate interests are the credit card companies. Like, you all act like Biden, this is any different than any other politician. Yeah, well, great. You did say then again, so was Trump. No, I'll actually give you Trump was less. Honestly, Trump was probably the least amount of beholden to corporate interests. That I will give Trump. That I absolutely will give Trump. I'm the one that coined the term blackmail first. This nigga don't know who the fuck he's talking to. Of course. But I'm gonna tell you something. The fact that CNN called that out tells you we're doing it. So you think CNN would have called that out if we weren't going in the right direction? So take it like that. No, AM1 climate change is not a scam. We're just gonna agree to disagree on that. I'm not saying that we need to get all these extra regulations, but what I am saying is that we accelerating electric cars, accelerating the development of that, accelerating getting different energy sources. Even if you don't give a fuck about climate change, fuck these oil and coal companies. They got too much power. I'm always for diversifying and having more options. I'm always going to be for that. Because monopolies, see, what kills me is you all talk about corporations. No, actually, you all talk about Marxism and communism. I'm not talking about you, AM1, but people don't, because I know AM1, you agree with this part I'm about to say, but people don't understand the college of corporations. That's a problem. When your cell phone companies are owned by like, what, it's three now? Verizon, T-Mobile, and who else? It was T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. All of your prepaid companies is owned by them. What, Mint Mobile might be the one other thing. Your car companies, car companies got variety for the most part. Just not, it's just three companies, but okay. But same thing when it's like, hold on. Let me get back into that. Yeah. Give me one moment. Like, y'all can feel free to come up. Like, it is like the link is there. I mean, it is what it is. I understand why y'all don't. Y'all might be doing some shit. So I'm not saying it's except for that other dude, that JL dude. Yeah, you talking. I don't got a problem with people talking shit and disagreeing, but don't say stupid shit that I didn't say. That I don't like. So yeah. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Oh yeah, I like how that's going. Ooh, I love how I'm starting to get better at working StreamYard too, man. Boy, it's this dude that BGS has been sharing. Shout out to him. Look at this. And this is an older one because Disney, Disney, CBS, Time Warner, because I think Time Warner was purchased by AT&T. Yeah, Time Warner was purchased by AT&T. So AT&T is on the upper left. So they got telecom and this, because you're gonna see telecom and that stuff merge more. Disney, CBS, yeah, this is not 100% accurate, but it's only a couple of companies, man. And this is how it is with a lot of different shit. So even if you don't care about climate change, I'm always about diversification and having more in the marketplace. So introducing other panel like solar and stuff like that for your house, because we do a lot of that in North Carolina. North Carolina has a lot of wind shit on the coast where they're working on developing. So diversification and energy should be something that people should be cool with, irregardless of what you think about climate change. So I don't even need to make the climate change argument. But do you really want the coal companies and all these companies to get all this shit, and how, especially how they have a monopoly on everything and how they're putting their influence? There's a lot of different reasons to do that. It's not just one reason. Yeah, death rates. I agree with that. You do want, because the country, yeah, you do. I agree with that death rates. Motherfuckers do treat it like sports a little bit. I'm not saying that anybody that disagrees with me. And you're right, Richard. They don't. A lot of these people don't. There's certain people I take seriously. I mean, AM1 is definitely serious about it, but some people, it's like they're just, yeah. Shout out to AM1, man. Y'all need to go subscribe to AM1's Instagram. He's doing some really good shit over there. You know, we got to definitely support our videographers. We definitely don't have enough. I know exactly. Yeah, but the thing about it is, you all act like you calling it something is going to put a dent in it actually happening. Like, it is way more important for black men to understand the gynocracy, because that affects them in a lot more deeper way than understanding Marxism. This nigga, I can't believe this nigga actually said I endorse Kamala Harris. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Solar panels don't work well. First of all, solar panels don't work well because, you know, oil didn't work well at one point. Remember, oil used to be a byproduct of gasoline was a byproduct of oil when they used to do the candles. So once they got into electricity, that paved the way for gasoline, as that was kind of a refined product. And then with cars, it just, things came together. So yes, solar. And another thing too is every solar has different applications globally. So that can create jobs. Like, there's a lot, man. There's a lot of different reasons y'all do stuff. Y'all just ain't thought that far ahead. Y'all are really, a lot of what I hear is you all comparing what you all are used to and what you grew up with to stuff to change. And because black people have a thing about change, you all tend to always like emotionally be against something that would be changed versus shit that you're used to. That's generally why I see you all line up with it. Michael Moore even said climate change is bull and YouTube blocked his movie. Okay, Michael Moore can say that. People can say that. I just gave you different reasons. People can fucking say that all they want to. Europe used to be a lot of forests. It's not now because of development. And the thing is, when people talk about like, are you really telling me that if you were to just Control Alt Delete the entire Amazon rainforest, you're really telling me that that would have zero effect on the global environment? Is that what you're saying? Do we need any? Okay, so fuck it. Do we need any trees? We don't need trees then. Why don't we just get rid of all the trees? Since that's bullshit. Do we need any trees? Any, because you know they suck up CO2 and they export oxygen. So we don't need trees. Because shit, if you don't need one, you don't need none of them, right? Since we're gonna have that conversation. Zero trees, zero this. None of that matters. It doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. I've been in the Philippines. I've been overseas. Not to say you all haven't. You know who was wearing masks 7-8 years ago as a society before some pandemic? Asia. You know why? Because their fucking environment is fucked up. That's the one thing they didn't do with their laws. They made it so you couldn't fire the fucking agents. But when you came to that environment, they let everybody do what the fuck they wanted to do in that way. To the point where I was getting like my fucking skin was getting fucked up because I was there 5 months. air pollution. So none of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. I live in the South. I live in North Carolina. I'm from Chicago. I can tell you, take global warming and that bullshit out of it. There's a fucking difference. There is a fucking difference. There's a difference for your health. There is a difference. Environmental racism is a thing. There is a fucking difference. And I know that's not exactly the same as global warming, but I mean, again, whatever, man. And the main thing I disagree with AM1 on is AM1, like the issue I disagree with you is you kind of have, to me, it's like you think that they got to do all of this bullshit. If they really want to tell you not to do something, they're going to just tell you not to do it. If it really comes down to it. This idea that they just got to go through all of these damn hoops they got to jump through. Oh man, they're just technological. They're gonna do it, and at the end of the day, you just like with this vaccine, I'm not taking that shit. And luckily, I work from home, and everybody I give a fuck about works from home. Well, my brother doesn't, but he's good. I don't have to take it. I'm gonna let y'all niggas take it. So I ain't no fool. But at the same time, and if I can't travel for a while, well, I haven't been, so that's not gonna be something I use in order to I need to travel. I need to get these bitches. No, it ain't that serious for me. So we're at an hour. So, but at the same time, I'm oh man, it's all fake. It's just all fake. No, they don't got to do all of that. If they really want to make you do something, they can make you do it. They, fuck the bullshit. This is what the fuck we're doing. What you gonna do? They can do that. Alex Jones, nobody's self-funded. He's not self-funded. He has sponsors. It may not be as obvious. Well, CNN is good for getting the headlines to get what people are telling people to focus on. And then you get your own, I get my news sources from a variety of different places. CNN is not the main one. CNN is great background television because it's not something that draws me to pay attention to it. The first 48 I might pay attention to, but CNN I don't. Golf is good background television because I don't pay attention to that either. I don't have a need to watch it. Yeah, automation is coming. You're absolutely right. You need to be a corporate citizen. Well, I mean, I agree with depopulate. The agendas are in effect. But the truth is, AM1, can you honestly tell me that it's going to be good for humans for if we get to 10, 20, 30 billion? I mean, shit, AM1, tell me this. How many humans is too many humans on planet Earth? Let's start there. Because we can start about what we don't agree with. You give me a number as to how many humans will be too many. There's a TV show that I watched called The Expanse, in which they're at 24 billion, 100 years in the future. So you tell me. I believe homosexuality is a depopulation agenda. Definitely do. I think it's doing it by proxy of volunteering. Hell, you don't got to depopulate. The women are already not having kids like that when it comes to white women. That's already there. So, I mean, shit, they call that white genocide. Shit is happening. I don't have a disdain for politics because I know once you know it's theater and know what it is. Yeah, its dude's name was Tim Scott. Shout out to Art in the Stall. Great stream last night and great interview with Zoe Williams. I hope you get another one. Because honestly, Zoe could there's a market for Zoe here. There really is. I don't know why Zoe stays where he's at so much, but whatever. Yes, he is a Republican, and Tim Scott is not independent at all. None of the senators are. Tim Scott is, and Tim Scott has been, I've seen Tim Scott be disrespected by white people and Republicans many times when they knew who he was. Tim Scott was talking about how they didn't let him even in the goddamn Congress house. Make no mistake. Don't act like, stop trying to pretend like these Republicans are your fucking friends anymore. My thing is to let you know Democrats aren't your friends either. But that doesn't mean Republicans are. You ain't got no friends. And you niggas out here trying to compare and contrast like that anybody fucks with you. They don't. Yeah, I ain't, you still, where that nigga at? Nigga, you a black male first channel supporting Kamala Harris. Nigga, shut your bitch ass up. Nigga, there's a rewind button. You can rewind the shit if I actually said that. Are you fucking serious? No, I don't play CNN in the background while I'm fucking. But CNN is great to have in the screen because I don't give a fuck about it. I like Bloomberg News as well. I actually like Al Jazeera. I thought they did really good. The American version of Al Jazeera, they were covering a lot of black topics. But they killed that shit. We are below replacement in the West, and white people are in the worst situation. See, death race, the problem with black people is the replacement level, but the biggest problem is abortion. Black people have abortions like a motherfucker out here, like black women. That's the biggest issue. What's up, Young Jay? You could argue that, but the thing about it is, now let's ask the question: how many people are too many people in the United States of America? I'm not against depopulation. I'm against targeting black people for it. There's a difference. Yeah, man, because the thing about it is, and this is like art, this is where the purple pill shit, like the purple pill side would probably work. If you create like a segmented thing, you draw a clear line and you say, okay, all these female channels are going to be on there. If dudes want to create like a 4-woman channel or something, like this is where BGS for women could have happened. You got Mr. Fantastic want to talk to, these chicks. There's an environment for that. Because if you're really trying to target the couple of females, the 2 females just got some motherfucking sense that may listen to them other hoes, which I don't deal with, and you can't bring them to our side. You got to bring them in the environment. That way, all the dudes that want the channels to be male only, you're giving them that. And then the dudes that are cool with that Jessica X style content, you're creating a lane for that. And that's a lane Zoka occupy. That's a lane Zoka occupy. That's a lane Obsidian can occupy. And I'm not saying people can't jump into both, but that's a lane. And that's the thing. And you create that kind of buffer, then it can't be, oh, well, all these niggas are this or all these niggas are that. But Zoe come in here with that bullshit, but because niggas are waiting, niggas are over here. But the thing about it is, people are starting to look at YouTube. Yes, we use YouTube like a social media network, and people are really trying to grow these channels. And I want to help people grow. I need to obviously grow myself. Yeah, but I'm not watching on MSNBC. I'm not watching that. The only thing I watch on MSNBC, I'll watch Morning Joe, and that's because I got to get up early in the morning. So I'll have that on for like the last hour, and then I'll probably watch Get Up on ESPN. Thing about ESPN is ESPN draws my focus too much. I'll focus on that. So I can't. Part of why I watch CNN is because I don't take it seriously. Yeah, black women be scraping the crack. Absolutely. And the reality and the thing about it is, people want to talk about I get it. I'm not, but I don't give a fuck about depopulation. I give a fuck about black people being targeted for it. That's what I care. No, well, people are gonna hate. I mean, Zoe has his own infrastructure. So Zoe doesn't have to come over here. Just like how Dennis Sperling is over here, but he's building his own shit. Everybody has their own shit. And the problem is, you got YouTubers that they like to hate on people. Nobody owns nobody owns the audience. I don't give a fuck how big you are. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you think you are. Nobody owns the audience. And the problem is when you're bringing in, BGS has had to run into this a couple of times. He ran this with Kevin. Apparently, he ran into this with the academics as well. Although I'm not as privy to that as with Kevin. Is you have people that really what they're doing is they're battle rapping and they're politicking like they own an audience. You don't own an audience. People have every right to, just like how you had that dude that said, I just unsubscribed because he thought I said something that all y'all know I ain't never said. That's his choice. That nigga was never going to donate anyway or do anything else that I'm doing. Yes, I am talking about Zoe What Show. And Art Nostal did an interview on the Zoe What Show. And y'all should, shit, I'll show you. And before I end this, because I meant that, I was keeping this. Oh, don't get me started on that Steve the Dean talking about if you don't thank single mothers because you don't have no game. I'm like, nigga, some of this shit, you got to understand that shit is clickbait bullshit. But some of these niggas really believe that shit. Like, I'm not going to be responding to stupid shit no more. Like, I'm really not. You got to understand some people are doing shit just to be doing it. Just to get like clickbait on it. And by the way, I'm gonna be sharing Art Nostal's link. Y'all need to Art Nostal does one of the Coliseums as well. Y'all definitely need to be subscribed to Art Nostal because he's got at least once a week great conversations. Yes, Zoe walks the razor thin line for caping. I understand that, but you know what? That makes great content. That makes great content as far as going back and forth. You niggas love us going back and forth with niggas that cape. Stop acting like y'all don't. So yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to Art Nostal. Oh, I've solved that. I think I've solved that problem with the streaming shit. When I pull it up here, man, shout out to BGS for bringing up the for showing me that Kirk Nugent dude or whoever, like, man, that dude is the truth, man. He is the motherfucking truth. What they all do. Yeah, sorry about that. Hold on, I gotta pull this shit back up. That's another thing. Now I got an Ethernet cable, so yeah, this stuff is gonna be hooked up. Mm-mm-mm. What's up, Pharaoh? Hey yo, you need to, if you know Love Dorsey, you really need to put Lord Dorsey on to what we. It is an open panel. You want to jump on, you can jump on because I'm about to wind this down. Get somebody on this bitch. Did Donald Trump pardon Kwame Kilpatrick? And no, I don't agree with Dennis Sperling that art music was red pill. I do not agree with that shit at all. That's probably one of the first things I disagree with. But hey, his opinion is his opinion. Yeah, what's up, Pharaoh?
All right. What it do, fam? You can hear me just fine.
Oh, my bad. I can't hear you because shit.
Can you hear me now? Am I coming through clear now?
Oh, my bad. I didn't even realize I was unmuted. I was muted this whole time. What's up? Yeah, I can't. Are you talking? Press one if y'all can hear me. I actually haven't listened to Love Dorsey's music. Okay, so y'all can hear me. So yeah, come back, man. Yeah, man. Art, I gotta get you on this damn art shit because you good with that. All right. Yeah, because I took my headset out. Let me get my other headset. Because I don't even. Yeah, I see you're on mute, Pharaoh. I know how it is on the phone. So is it better now? Is it better now? Yeah, so your mic is still muted. Like art, like you. I mean, I get it, especially with iPhones. This shit is whack. Okay, because I'm definitely about to get this test one that I want to test out. This really okay. All right. So basically, it's a thing where I can share, I can queue stuff up like before I share it. So that way does it automatically come up. So I can kind of work on queuing it up. So by the time I queue it up, it's already queued. This is what I'm talking about, the thing that Art did with Zoe. Yeah, what's up, Nameless? You're mute too.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
I hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right, I'm back. You can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, so I just wanted to play this real quick. This isn't like a big deal. I just wanted to let me reset this back. Okay, so this is on 100. So why is this? Okay, yeah, like this is what I'm talking about. This is Zoe, y'all.
To reflect back to you what you need to work on.
So this is on Art's channel.
That's being spiritually yoked. This person came to my life
See,
with a lesson.
now this is pre the Corey Holcomb situation. No, absolutely, and yeah, y'all definitely scroll up and subscribe to Art in the Stall. I'm like y'all definitely. I mean, as far we need to actually support our art dudes too, man. But for real, because them white boys be doing that anime porn shit, and they be getting money. So like like I said, I'm privy to a lot of things internet marketing. So I just want we'll keep that in there so y'all see what that's going. So y'all can check that out on his channel. It's like maybe 10, 15 videos in. It wasn't done that long ago. So anyway, so what's up, Nameless? What do you think about what I've said? Any disagreements? Anything you want to put out there? We'll be doing this for another like 20, 25 minutes.
I kind of clicked in late. I've been doing a lot of study on a lot of recent info dealing with evolutionary psychology, amongst other things. And really, I've been reviewing a lot of foundational information that I think a lot of us in the red pill spaces historically got way back in the early 2000s. But we haven't did it from the perspective of understanding the gynocracy's relationship with intersectional feminism and how intersectional feminism has gone out of its way to pretty much sweep a lot of that information under the rug. So when we're looking at it, I think it's profound when we can introduce words like biological denialism, which explains a lot as to why it's almost impossible to discuss the idea of male and female nature in a lot of these conversations, how it plays out in any social environment, and the way it relates to us as a people right now, because we've been dialed back to the lowest common denominator of human nature when it comes to what we call our culture. And that seems to be a general trend that's going on right now across the board globally. But, we're kind of like the alpha testing for a lot of that stuff. That makes sense.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing about it is, when you look at like the type of content people want to put out, there's certain content that's going to be the type of content that brings an audience into the manosphere. Think of it like partners. You have certain partners that may be specialists. Well, all partners, what they have in common is they need to bring new business, and in our case, a new audience. When I say new audience, I mean increase the audience we focus on, which is heterosexual Black men, into the space. And they need to, basically protect. It's not so much protect the audience, but protect the information. And getting that information out there. So when you take the type of stuff you do, you take the Black Brain Trust, and like these things, even at like my channel up to this point, even though these channels may not have a lot of subscribers, they don't bring in a lot of views. At the end of the day, the information is just as important. So people sometimes will have something to say about, like, let's say O'Shea and trending news and the trash shit, which it is, but we know a lot of Black people, Black men watch it. They watch it. So this idea they don't. And here's the thing. It brings in new people because maybe Black men are not searching for these things, because a lot of times they are, but let's say they're not. Let's say that's the argument, and I see that. You increasing your channel builds the algorithm up, your access into the algorithm, which does allow you to do videos that can further target, your particular audience. So if we know Black men are primary in the sports niche, the way, like the hair niche, whether it's dreads, hair, these, you have more. I didn't know Dwight Howard's on Philly. These niches you can access more if you have a stronger play in the overall Google algorithm, because you're giving Google what they want, which is views and watch time, right? So you doing certain niches, like maybe the celebrity, he'll do the celebrity John, I will call it the Everybody Hates Black Men podcast. This is building yourself up in Google so you can then target the niches that you overall want to target. And then by you doing that, because keep in mind, O'Shea has at least a 90% Black male audience. You'll be able to do the smarter stuff, like when he does Hall of Game and stuff like that. And then my perspective from a manosphere standpoint is we can then promote channels that do different stuff that they may want to focus more on that. And it's still their responsibility to bring in views for their own people. It's primarily their responsibility to keep people watching their shit. So for them to be sticky channels, but then the more dry stuff, the stuff like BGS, like what you're doing, but it's important to know these people have access from a second degree contact situation. And by the way, they'll consider that information more valid. Like information like what you're talking about, or some of the gynecology stuff, is really something that they should be paying for in a Patreon, or at least they pay $1 or put a pay gate in. Even if it's $1, you put something in there to where this is walled off information. This is not information that's really meant to bring in a lot of views. It's information to give you insight, because now you're armed with going into the outside world, knowing a lot of things about the environment that you're technically not even supposed to know.
And I think that's why I use a Storyfront for a lot of the information I put forward, to make it more palpable. Like the idea of the story that I have ongoing with the Nameless Swordsman. I deal with a lot of these concepts in social situations you may find yourself in metaphorically from a story told perspective. So you're using a fantasy character that's in a typical RPG environment, going through these dynamics. So there's an image relationship to the concepts, kind of like having a picture book. People learn in different ways. And, I've really been considering that, and it really shows when you get on panels and you speak to certain individuals that are used to having, not that there's anything wrong with the barbershop talk, but just that one step, two step anecdotal relationship to any topic. If it goes beyond that one step, two step, it becomes difficult to even have a conversation about, unfortunately. And a lot of the information gets lost and it's difficult to progress it. And then it leads into the argument that the sphere gets critiqued about of, we quote talk about the same things all the time. And you can break it down to the common denominator.
And that's why exactly. And that's why, like, even like talking about if you talk about it from a story standpoint, you can look at themes from mainstream media. Like the Expanse kind of delves in a lot of stuff like that. And it's 100 years in the future. Like this channel I'm showing right now is a channel called The Urban Acolyte. And he kind of
remember him.
Yeah. Now he's a good dude. I unsubscribe. Some of his stuff is too like, we're all one race and stuff. And I get it, because that expands him to everybody. But he goes into a lot of those deeper concepts that like you're talking about is just not exactly aimed in like where you're aiming it at. But this is like an example. Like, let's say you came to me saying you wanted to grow, but you still want to stay true to like what you're about. And then, by the way, you're doing this nameless thing too. This would be kind of like a channel I would say to model after, because you can take like certain stories, reactions, and apply it to a like maybe whatever, you know, fit what you're trying to do as far as like the news of the day, as far as geekdom and whatever. And then like on the flip side, back into like the stuff that you're talking about, and then say, okay, the target market I want is probably going to be black people, because black women, and because here's the thing, just because if black men are like 50% of your base, you can still make content that caters to that. It's just your content can be accessible for everybody, and then you go deeper and deeper. If somebody wants to go deeper into the content to who your target market is, you have to sometimes funnel it, but people don't think that way. Like, really, I shouldn't really. Is that a bad thing that you have like a 97% audience? But if my audience was like 70% black male and then 30% everything else, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's still a black channel, because it's mainly black men. And growing is not about just getting money. It's also about getting access to the algorithm, so you can better target your target market in the suggestion in the engine and stuff like that. But people don't think that way,
Right, because it's multiplicative.
Yeah.
You know, people look at that too, and they fail to realize that it's not an addition sign next to it, it's an X. So that's the difference there.
Yep. So so Pharaoh, what's up, man? Have you been listening to it? What do you think about what's been said? Am I full of shit on anything? What's up?
Nah, what it do? You can still hear me just fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. My bad. I'm going through these mountains in West Virginia. But yeah, like you said, you was right when you was talking about when we have like different you know, president-elect every 4 years, man. It's nothing that's changed. You know, it's just different faces. I don't know why people so up in arms, you know, with the whole thing about Trump leaving and everything else. Because like I said, it's funny, we always say that they're the same flip side of the coin, but dudes still latch after Trump after we done said it numerous of times, like he's no different from the Democratic Party. Matter of fact, he ain't even a real Republican himself. So my thing is that I think it's just a lot of people, especially the brothers, just up in arms about the this whole inauguration. I didn't even watch the shit. So I mean, like I said, it will pass over. It will pass over in a couple months. Like, it will be a whole new conversation. But all I just say is I hope that the Congress does give him some pushback about the fossil fuel, because of course, you know, I drive trucks and I'm paying for my own fuel as an owner op. So I don't want these gas companies.
No, I absolutely understand that. And I don't agree with the liberals trying to raise gas. That I do not agree with. So we're on the same page with that.
Yeah, because I'm like, if that happens, I mean, everybody know that hyperinflation is here. I did a video on that as well. So I'm like, it's here and it's not really going anywhere no time soon, because if everything's get marked up, if gas get marked up, everything else is going to follow. The store is going to get marked up, because if nobody don't know,
well,
if you
probably more Biden. I don't think Biden's going to do that, because Biden is a blue collar guy at heart. And most likely, what you got to worry about is more automation than anything. Because if the liberals are, it's almost like, okay, if you care about the environment like that, then automation is going to be the way to go. And that's going to be a way of doing it in a way that people are not going to pay attention to until it's too late. Like you don't lose as much political capital going that route. Like only the extremist liberals are talking about raising gas prices, and that's something that is not. Most Democrats are not going to go for that, because that's something that you can run against, and it's something you can blame them, and it's something that people would believe that they did. So that's too much. It's too much political blowback. He's not. Yeah, that I don't see. But the automation's happening irregardless. So why not?
Yeah, of course. And then, you know, when they say it's coming for the trucker's job, I think that's probably like further down the line.
Yeah, I think 10, 15 years.
I've seen prototypes on the road, but it's also going to determine for trucking companies if they're going to put those in their fleets. Like, I don't know if you already noticed, but a lot of your trucking companies have already started getting straight automatic trucks. You don't really see any 10 speeds like that anymore. Like, I'm more like the last of the dying breed. My truck is a 10-speed manual, but I'd rather have a manual, because something like this.
Oh, you're talking about automatic transmission.
Automatic transmission.
Like, I'm thinking automatic as far as.
Oh no, automatic where they don't have no stick shift. So because they want more people like getting in the industry, I mean, it doesn't help about the whole turnover rate, because truck driving is not like a ordinary job. You know, you got to get up at odd hours after night and drive and shit.
Well, the
So-
problem is that's something they should have promoted in school more. But you know, blue collar jobs is promoted that you failed.
Yeah.
And that's a part of the problem. Another thing too is, you know, this is where, you know, Elon Musk becoming the richest person in the world. At least, you know, he'll be going back and forth with Bezos, but they are probably, before they go fully automated, and even when they go automated, it's going to be like a build up when it comes to fleets. But what they're going to do is they're probably going to go electric, because if you got to refuel and stuff, that's like a gap that a physical person's gonna have to be, or somebody's gonna have to do something. Versus if it's electric, you can kind of control, okay, what they can do, get in the back. There's things you control with that. So speak on that for a second.
It's a battery.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah, it's a big battery. That's the thing about it with the trucks. They're putting in the concept, but they don't know how much battery it can hold, like when it comes mileage wise. So if it has to constantly like sit there and take charge, like they still trying to get the mechanics of that.
Yeah, they're not there yet.
And plus, yeah, they're not there yet, but they have been working. Like I said, I've seen the prototypes. Like they've been having them at what's called GATS, which is Great American Trucker Show. And then there's another one called MATS, which is Mid American Trucking Show, which MATS is based out of, I believe it's based out of Dallas. One of the two is either one is based out of Louisville and the other one's out of Dallas. I went to the one in Louisville, and that's when I seen the prototype, which was with Shell. They had the whole Shell design all over it. So go ahead.
I want to speak on that too.
Go ahead. Before you jump in, the main point I wanted to really put on is probably electric part is going to get solved first, and there'll still be a body in there even with the electric part. So my point is, if you're somebody that here's the thing, I get if y'all think that the global warming is completely a scam, I understand that. You still need to understand the mindset of, because half the party doesn't believe that, half the country, and a lot of Republicans don't believe global warming is a scam. So you're still going to have to deal with these laws, and it's not always going to be okay, they're either pass or fail. You still want to influence how the laws get done. So my point is, you're going to still have bodies in there for the electric piece. And so my main point is that the Democrats have a lot of pathways if they care about the global warming as to how to increase and improve everything without raising gas prices. That's completely less politically impactful on that's my main point I want to deliver. But go ahead.
Also, you have to mind that a lot of the trucks have DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. So a lot of that is already protecting the environment too. So you don't see the exhaust smoke like that on the road, because we have DEF, which is like really like some of the main problems in the trucks now instead of engine transmission. Because Lord beholds, if you have a DEF problem and it gives out, that's $9,000 you got to spend to replace it.
So and I want to just add this into, what Pharaoh was speaking about. Right now, the algorithm, it's actually a 50-year-old algorithm they're working with for a lot of the automation stuff. A lot of folks don't know that. But they've been programming and making a lot of micro adjustments to account for things like cultural preferences when it comes to accidents and things like that. Like, if the algorithm recognizes that it has to hit somebody and it has to choose between a woman pushing a child and a dude, they're actually coding by region who is going to be the priority target to be hit. And that's kind of where we get into, understanding the way socio-political dynamics are playing a role into these new technologies coming in. I'm digressing slightly, but these will be things that are happening in the backdrop of the conversation. The next thing I wanted to say is one of the big things that's holding this back from being run out full swing, along with the algorithm calibration, is this battery scenario. There was supposed to be a lot of progression that was made. I think they were working with Panasonic to come up to some solutions, and they keep running into overheating problems. So it's either, it either won't hold enough charge, like Pharaoh was saying, or it's heating to the point where they're getting fires. On Also, as far as what you were asking about, NBA fan, if you're asking about what I was talking about with the algorithm, I'll link you a documentary on that. You can kind of see the actual algorithm itself and all the polls that they've done. But Richard Dixon bringing that up. This is a very old topic. You know, a lot of us just haven't been speaking about it that I've heard of in a lot of these spheres, because it does differ by region. Different regions in the world will have a different preference for these kinds of outcomes. And these are the discussions that are happening over scientific forums all over the world now.
Yeah, and because this is a global problem, because a lot of people take this more seriously globally, because they're, people might call it the New World Order. It's like you're tuning stuff up, and it can't be fossil fuels everywhere, because that's what leads to a lot of the mining and stuff. And as these countries are coming up, you got to give them solutions. You can't tell them to slow the fuck down to what they're doing, and then expect them not to take the same pathways you took. Right. If that's all you're giving. So this is another thing. And also this is an opportunity for job creation in certain situations as well. Obviously, a lot of it be automated, but this is stuff that America can export to the world, at least for a certain amount of time. This is the stuff, shout out to Charles Faulkner, who talked about like the situation with the Capitol situation with the riots, and how that can pave the way for opportunities for black men to be like Capitol Police. You're not like, and by the way, you're not policing niggas. You're people. You're policing. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to look at this is another thing. SWP talked about this, but he never went into it. You have to look for industrial opportunities with your target marketing group. And one of the things that the manosphere, and there are great people that do this. There are certain channels that do this. Sub-Zero 3639, I would say, is one of the leaders in this with the IT stuff. I'm talking about actually rubber meets the road, him teaching people how to get jobs and educating them. He never gets enough credit for that, by the way. You have to look at how can our target market of black men, which are thinking black men, which is not the majority of black men, which we can argue, let's say 20 or 30% of what we really, I'm talking about ADOS, although not ADOS people are not allowed, but I'm saying this is what we prioritize, because non-ADOS black men are usually gamed up in the stuff we're not, by the way. They're gamed up in the stuff that we need to know. You need to look for industrial opportunities. Yeah, that's down the road for us to create industries, but we need to look for emerging industries and stuff like that as things change. And that's something that the manosphere needs to do a lot more. There are people that do it. And things like getting into trucking, getting into even the military. A lot of different stuff. I'm going to be doing it with sales. A lot of things that get your economics right. And as you see these changes, like I said, with police or whatever, dudes got to get out of the hangups that they had. And because these white dudes be having their own hangups, but they still join the police. You saw that with the riots. They can still believe the government needs to be toppled, but they're still a police officer. And if you have this stuff, I'm not saying you should be a cop. I'm just saying that's a job that pays, and folks need to not, economic opportunities are economic opportunities, and you can always get a job, come out of it, get your business right. But it's too much keeping it real and trying to shame other people to keep it real when you ain't doing shit. I'm not saying that mainly happens in the manosphere, because it doesn't, but yeah, what is NBA fans? NBA fan, it's an open panel. I don't know what he's talking about.
He was talking about the AI issue. I think I fixed it in the chat. I posted a link.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. So, I mean, and shout out to this is Brain Trust Conversation. So, yeah. So, my point is there's a lot of moving parts here. That's the main part. Now, one thing I wanted you to talk about, now, this dude that I'm sharing right now is Kirk Nugent. This dude is the truth. This is dude BGS shared. Any of you all that want to up your screen share, your StreamYard game, you want to learn how to do Canva, amplify how you're doing stuff, but do it for free. I've paid for stuff. I got to do an open thing about the different stuff that I got, because I got an arm bar for $20. That microphone you heard was a lavalier that can be used either for any tablet. It also has a thing that can be used for DSLRs, because DSLRs, when you use DSLRs, they have to be a powered mic, so it converts. Let me see. Let me show this bullshit. All this bullshit pretty long. So when I do my videos with the wall board that I actually went to Lowe's and put together myself with some command tape, which I'm proud of that, because I'm not a blue collar nigga like that. And that's why you couldn't hear me, because when I have this plugged in, if I don't have like another separate thing, then it's just gonna be the input. My point is that was 20. The arm bar was 20. I had got the snowball from where is it at? And I need to use that as its own individual stand. That I think about it. I got this snowball for like cheap. I got it from the pawn shop, and I just picked it up. And then I had to get the mic cord, which is really a printing cable, the mic cable, and that was like $9. So we talk about $50. You know, I got 2 mics. Well, and don't even count this. Like
Is that the Yeti?
that mic. No, this is the snowball. I think it's made by the same people as you.
That's what I'm saying. They made from the same folks.
Man,
I think I see them do that.
And then I never pulled it apart. I just had it sitting there. And then this headset is what I use for my job anyway. And this headset is actually $40. That's why it sounds pretty good. And it can. So yeah. So my point is, because I know a lot of times shout out to Kuda. I'm not throwing shade at him, but Kuda is, his eyes are getting big. Niggas ain't gonna pay $300 for mics unless they get some real money. Like, I'm sorry, unless they get some real money from this shit, or unless they got other shit to use it. Like, for instance, you're a truck driver. If I was gonna sell you something for $300, I'd sell you that Bluetooth, Bluetooth headset, because you can use that for a lot of different applications. Like me, I don't mind wearing this. I don't mind driving my car and wearing this. Now, you may not get me wearing that goofy small little thing because that thing might fall off my ears, but this I know it won't. So, I mean, I'll get the Bluetooth one eventually, and then that I can just connect it, and, because I do gaming. It's just a lot of applications, you got to justify that sale. And so when motherfuckers talk about they don't want to buy it, and the first thing you want to do is like, niggas, you niggas don't want to be like, well, I'm like, yo, I walked into Best Buy, and I could do a live stream just going through Best Buy, and then most of them mics and Yetis was like 170. And that's it. That's the one that was featured for live streaming. I'm like, dude, why are you showing people $300 shit? The best of the best of the. That's not what they need. You want better mics, then fine. But shit, show it where they can be better. Don't say being better means $300. And I know he meant to help, but there's a certain way you have to present stuff sometimes, and then allow black men to do it in their own time. You can still promote something, and keep it in people's minds, but not be, because like right now, guess what? We know y'all niggas are getting stimulus checks. We know y'all getting 600 and Biden 14. I know everybody talking about you shouldn't need no stimulus check. Get your money, nigga. Okay, them corporations don't be saying that shit though. Them motherfuckers that didn't need, the Lakers didn't need no money, but they
still took that SBA loan.
Hell yeah, you better stop. Oh, everybody, but see, everybody, you don't hear nobody saying that about them SBA loans or grants. That's being given money. Stop being, The question is, are you gonna use it to buy nigga shit? You niggas buying a PS5. Watch the PS5 will magically come available with tax time.
Man, you know how niggas are, and that's what I was saying. And I love the video that I did about 2021 is going to be a drastic change. Be on the lookout, brothers, because that's what I got a title as. I said that I was like, you got people here that's not even going to take that money to try to even investigate a real skill for the fourth industrial complex. I'm willing to bet you right now that they're not even going to go and try to get certifications. You don't even have to go to college to spend all that money on student loans. Just go get yourself a certification in coding, in the work, in the repair, the autonomous robots, and you will be making $90,000 to $150,000, man. But they just won't do it, and that's the same thing that Mike B and a lot of people in the black franchise was just having issues with. Black people just won't do it.
And I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Well, the thing about it is, you got it. And I'm not saying they're not doing this. I'm not saying. Let me show you this way. So first of all, we're gonna do the and if you niggas get mad, fuck you niggas. I don't give a fuck. You all can subscribe. Oh, nigga, promoting women. It ain't. I'm not promoting women. What I'm promoting is our shit projected through multiple vectors. So if you want to say, oh, I can't see his face, I got a nigga for you. If you say, oh, well, he ain't a high value man or he's not certified, okay, I got a multi-million-dollar lawyer that's saying the same shit. I got something for every last one, and I got a female more than one for all you niggas. And when one disavows they shit, guess what? I got another one. And trust me, the one thing y'all chicks better understand is every last one I get is worse than the last. So now I got a chick that might as well be Minister Jap telling y'all ass what the fuck it is. That's the point. And that's why I really wanted you to come up, Pharaoh, because you said you
Oh,
actually know her.
yeah.
Right.
And I got a treat for
And
you too.
that's the purpose. And that's the purpose of me sharing these people. What the fuck is this? Let's see. Tag. This must be some Telegram shit. Yeah. Okay. Now we're where we need to be. Oh, okay. I don't know what that shit is, but the purpose of me sharing this shit is look. Yes, the shit is ratchet.
Oh, that chick. Yeah,
Shit is
Oh, Dorsey.
that chick is wow. Yeah, y'all know who you talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, she tells it like it is, man. Like if
Hey,
you've got,
I mean, give
some
your
people
honest
respond to
opinion.
that.
I ain't gonna beat you up. This ain't gonna be a replay of platinum. What's your opinion? I haven't gotten your opinion from an intellectual standpoint. Because I know you're intellectual, so I'm saying from an intellectual standpoint, what is your opinion? Have you heard any of our videos?
Talking about this chick right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's how I'll say this. You know how in the MBTI system, you've got 16 different personality types, and the deeper you get into it, you've got passive and active subtypes of each of these things. The way I see it, and I kind of adopt it from the perspective that I took on the very first video I did speaking about female ninja or the kunoichi.
Yeah.
It isn't about an individual's personality. It's about all of the different personalities having a different perspective of the same thing, so that in aggregate, you gain a much more inclusive picture of what you're looking at. You get far more data so that you can understand the general relativity of whatever agenda it is you have. So the greater level of perspective you have on a particular thing, the more data you have available on it, the more useful the information can be in the spirit of problem solving. Much like the female ninja could actually infiltrate locations that the male agents had a problem with, they could use that information for their advantage, that disposition for their advantage. It was all about options. In fact, currently right now, the CIA and the FBI is running into this problem. Why? Because they are only getting one type of applicant. And with that, they're not able to infiltrate areas they otherwise could.
Which is basically the white boys.
Essentially. And so they're going out of their way to try to get people and recruit from that regards. But it's to explain the need for there, again, as you described, multiple vectors.
I know where you're going with it.
Multiple vectors.
And by the way, this is where black men have an opportunity, because AFRICOM is in Germany, but the reality is, obviously, we already know Africa is like, it's always been important, but it's definitely important when you look at other, like the BRIC groups, because Indians have been in Africa. This is why you'll see them going out of their way to promote Indians a little bit more, because people forget India is in the BRICS. So you have to, so India is 1 billion people. They've already passed. I mean, they're 1 billion people, so it's not a big deal, but they did pass the UK's global economy. They're definitely going to be a player, at least a sub player. And what you don't want them to be completely on somebody's team, and they're smart enough to recognize that. So America's just going to have to cough up some stuff they haven't been coughing up. And just so you understand how smart Indians are, Indians don't allow Walmart. They use Walmart like how we use, like, imagine if Costco or Sam's Club only were allowed to sell to businesses. Now, that's not true, but let's say they were. That's how Indians use Walmart. They don't allow Walmart to overtake they allow Walmart to sell the vendors that then sell to the people.
Right, because they've got some way to dip their hand in.
Yeah, and they already got 1 billion people, so they can't like be really displacing like more and more like that. So they already got 1 billion people they got to deal with, a lot of which are it's 1 billion people, shit. And so they do think about those things, and they do leverage that the best they can. They just don't let these countries come in and just say you do what the fuck you want. They're not China with it, but everything in the United States ain't how it is everywhere else. And so when you see them talk about they're going to let Indians in, and because they're throwing white boys under the bus more than anybody when they do that, as far as the coders, because they're the ones that get the majority of money, the majority of hires. Indians are not really going to be doing blue collar work. You don't have to worry about them infiltrating a lot of the black men like fields. It's Hispanics we have to worry about. But So when people talk about, oh, they're gonna let all these Indians in, I don't give a fuck about that. The only thing they'll do is closest thing to black people is they may start selling, they may gas station shit like that, but that ain't gonna be nothing but a thing. So there's reasons for stuff, and a lot of people just play this thing where they're just melancholying about stuff like, woe is me. Understand the reason, understand if it does affect you. Going back to the original part with love, I'm glad you said that, because the thing is, too many black people, it's like they have this recoil, and it kills me. So I'm like, these are niggas from Memphis. Shout out to Marcus. Even Marcus had a little recoil. I'm like, nigga, you act like you ain't never heard this in Chicago. Like, niggas are acting like they've never fucked a bitch like this before. They just smoke black and miles and shit. Like, I'm really, and see, and this is funny how I get put in a square category, but y'all notice I haven't flinched hearing. So like this, like I hear women like this all the time. And you think when I say I care about what you say, not how you look, you think that's just applied to women that look good? And she's not an ugly chick. But my point is, it's also applied to how you sound. If you say what you're saying that makes sense, I'm not, because I deal anyway. My point is this, what you said about, it's not about even infiltrating. I don't look at it like that. I look at it by saying, look, let's say this. It is absolutely true what you said, though, about the infiltrating part. She can speak to markets we can't speak to. She can get to markets we can't get to. And this is why I've traditionally said, even before she got I even ever brought her up, because I got her from Dennis Sperling. I didn't just pull her in because I'm just looking for females to show you niggas. I don't do that. Usually I find these people from somebody else that I trust. So there's that. But just like Jessica X, these people can speak to certain markets that, quite frankly, it's just too much time for us to have to deal with. And at the end of the day, because we have a penis, they're always going to have some things versus, there's better things we have to do. Rather than arguing with these females all day, every day, Nameless can do the work of developing, not developing your theories, but refining how you communicate the intersectionality stuff in a way that these people can actually understand it. This is stuff that these people can listen to and say, look, I agree with this for this, that, and the third, and further disseminate that to the audiences that we need to hear. Because here's the thing. People say, well, you all are trying to just get women to come back today. No, I'm not. What I'm trying to do is establish that what we say is not this toxic bullshit that everybody says it is, and that hems us up from being able to go into other markets and go more mainstream, because it's seen that we hate women. It's hard to say that when you got women out here that's saying what we're saying a lot more brutally. That's the point. And that makes it easier for us to go after the markets we're going after and not get hemmed up. The market is not about bringing women into it. But see, you got to be able to think in multiple levels to understand that. So my point with her is, for all these chicks that want to cry like Rebecca and want to make it like we're just whooping chicks' asses on the online, now you get to hear what that actually sounds like, and let's see if you apply that same kind of emotional recoil. Like when her husband talked about, oh, I can't believe you're calling motherfuckers German Shepherds. Well, this chick is calling you a stupid ass bitch, a dumb ass hoe. Now you got something to say about that? No, you don't. Why? Because she's a black woman. So now you got to address shit that's actually what's being said. That's the point. And that's what dudes don't understand. Go ahead.
Well, that's why I love using what I learned about ninjutsu as an illustration. If you've got these women that are being trained to be on the outside maidens that perform at a temple or a shrine or a servant, ain't nobody double checking them. If there's somebody that's getting into somebody that has
excellent spies, go ahead.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So if you convert that, for example, to what you're familiar with marketing, there's certain demographics women will just kill it with. Whereas at the same time, there are others where she's not going to stand a chance. And you understand how to calibrate that and spend your resources accordingly to get a bigger
you also understand
picture.
In this society, we are in a gynocracy and we are in a very, very feminist society. America is not as bad as Canada. It's not as bad as some in Europe in many ways, but in some ways it's worse. Women, it's the opposite. There's certain groups that men can deal with, and then there's certain, but women have a much more overall appeal. This is why women are able to grow faster, like compared to men. Go ahead.
Which easily throws the balance off, because then you run into this idea of greater than or lesser than value. So power ends up looking like a female dynamic, and a lot of us in this sphere are here as an allergic reaction to having too much of that. So a lot of the response you're seeing, again, is an allergic reaction to feminine influence with regards to its relationship to power. So it's why a lot of people are standing up going, nah, that can't be the face. No, I don't want to see none of that. People have to be able to segment.
Nobody, and that's the thing. Like, it's an allergic reaction, but we're adults. So people can have their reaction, but I do expect at some point to come out of your feelings for people to do that.
So
like
Marcus
had his reaction and then moved on. Number one, nobody's saying she should be the face. That's not what nobody's saying. At the end of the day, she's got 142,000 subscribers on Instagram. You know good goddamn well she bring her ass on the YouTube with what Jessica's doing. Did she blow up there too with her 142? It doesn't matter if she ever talks to somebody in the manosphere or not. She has that independent of what we do. She sings and does this on top of that. This is the stuff she does and she kind of came into. So my point is, and I see people in the chat talk about is Love Dorsey's all over Florida. Absolutely.
Yeah. She's from St. Pete.
Yeah. So my point is, and this is how I know a lot of niggas that talk a lot of shit ain't been nowhere. Cause they act like this rebuffs. I'm like, what are you talking about? And my thing, and so my point is, you know, and that's good that she's like this. And I'm not saying it's bad, but she BGS said she's an 85. And basically those women can communicate with those women in a way, because a lot of women get annoyed by her. Trust me, she is constantly talking about women that get mad at her. But the point is, I just explained why this would benefit us, even if you take out bringing women into the space. You know, you need women like this. So anybody wants to play we're beating up women, compare her to Kevin Samuels. Then now it's very easy to say you're fucking stupid. It ain't about, you know, what Kevin's saying. It's about a black man with an opinion, because a black woman that tell you like it is. And hell, Roa Lori Cutno, same thing. Roa Lori Cutno, she's not like this, but she's just as hard hitting, and she's the complete polar opposite of that. She's coming from a boule standard. The point is, the truth is the truth. And people would say, well, what's to stop women from bringing dudes up? Well, first of all, most of these dudes, you already got dudes that are telling black women what they want to hear, and the environment is showing them how full of shit them niggas are. So end of. I mean, you got Steve the Dean talking about you're weak and ain't got no game if you won't date single mothers. Okay, show me his wife.
Wow, they said that, fam.
Yeah, O'Shea did an interview with him, and part of that could be just clickbait to get people. But Steve would say something like that. And all you gotta do is type in Marcus A. Brown, Steve the Dean, and you get the infomercial about why he's full of shit. That's all you gotta do. Like, that so man.
That man been on YouTube forever and still only get 15 people live viewers now.
Well, man. Well, to be fair, you know, people do be buying his shit. I'm not gonna act like they don't. He just don't. His live viewership is a metric just like subscribers. There's people that get subscribers that can't do viewership. Now, granted, she can do she's starting to get to the point where she can do 1,000 on Instagram. But even with Jessica X, like, sometimes it's a waste of time for us to be constantly arguing with these chicks when we know they're going to believe what they're going to believe, because we're giving them unnecessary attention, and we could put that energy into doing other things like expansion, versus if you got women that they're going to be there anyway, they're going to be there irregardless of what you do, and that's what they're doing, then, you know, there's worse things they could be doing. Like, Jessica's doing good work for her. Go ahead, deal with them females, convert some of them, go after those audiences, show that Chrissy and them. That's what soft power is. You're not supposed, but a lot of dudes in this space, they want red meat. They want constant red meat. I'm like, everything can't be a primary election, y'all. Everything can't be a primary election.
Yeah, and that really boils back down again to the difference between really coming from floor culture and management culture. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make here? Your values are different depending on what the overall definition of success looks like. And everybody's here for different reasons. So I can understand that. And I understand where a lot of these concerns come from, but it's why I use the hidden village model to explain that and what the Kunoichi's role was, and emphasize that it's a role. And that the idea of a role is it participates in a system of interdependence with other roles already established. And in the absence of those roles, other roles can be adopted. which means there's a level of accountability you have to have in yourself or for yourself and participating in what your overall goal is. And for us, you know, it's participating in whatever reason we have for being in the sphere. And it's very easy for what
another
people
thing
are saying they're worried about to happen.
Yeah, another thing.
If they
Another thing that
go
people
ahead.
say too. Yeah, another thing that people say too is that the manosphere is in danger of being overran by women, and motherfuckers are saying that they ain't been in the sphere. Either they're listening to people that got kicked out of the sphere, or they haven't been in the sphere longer than 2 years. And you got people that's been in the sphere for like 8 years. The sphere has never been overran by women ever, and it's not going to be. You know, even when 1.0 left, people picked up the mantle and rebuilt the shit. So that's an irrational fear. And my thing is, a lot of it is people are more afraid of how they respond to women, and that's kind of a personal problem. Because I can be around women and still hold my frame and hold what I'm doing or what I value, because I'm not out here trying to negotiate with what it is to get pussy, or not online or offline. And so my point is, rather than arguing with females, you all would do better at spreading women that have established they're gonna tell these chicks what the fuck it is. So rather than being in the chats or comment section arguing with a bitch, just post that link. And yeah, some women will sit there and be like, "What are you posting this link for?" It doesn't matter. You post it, and eventually, and don't even argue. Have the discipline to let that bitch be right, and just post that link so another bitch can smack their ass with the truth. And eventually,
Right.
well, we're helping another female. Well, fine. But at the end of the day, you're actually helping your message, just presented in a different way.
Right. Because there are a lot of people who apply for Navy SEALs, for example, and they have a phobia of water. It happens. What's the choice? At the end of the day, they got to get over that. How do they do that? Exposure.
Yep. And some dudes, but this needs to be a male space. Like, they bring shit into it. Like, it doesn't all of a sudden not become a male space. You know, like it's people just kill me with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna do one little test real quick, and I don't like that one.
Hey, one day I'm gonna give you a surprise and actually bring her up on here, Love Dorsey. I actually just came from St. Pete Monday. I was down there for the MLK little block party that they have every year, and I thought she was going to be there, but come to find out, she's not even in the country right now. She's in Brazil.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so
posting that bullshit with her hair out and shit. That makes sense.
Yeah, she still, she just did a live about 5 hours ago, titled "Consistency about the wrong shit," and she went in on that one. But I always tell her, man, and the women, majority, pretty much all of St. Pete know who she is. Like, it's a reason why her following is so strong. Like, Florida, that area alone, thousands of people know her. Like, you say, hey, Lord Dorsey, everybody, like, and they mama know who she is. So
yeah,
she's
it's just
well
respected.
Like yeah, she's well respected. So if any female want to try to come with the fuck shit, all I should be saying is, hey, go down to St. Pete, say her name in a slick manner, and watch what happened to your ass. So when women know, man, women like her because she's solid with her message. I knew she was authentic when I first met her, man, before I even knew she even went viral. Hell, if I can, because I got you on Facebook, and I'm gonna invite you to a group that she did. It's called Beyond Submissive Reloaded. It was a group that was made by her. Check this out. It's only been 1 month since she made that group. Guess how many people's on there? 24K.
Wow.
In 1 month, 24,000
Yeah,
people.
I would definitely like to be invited to that group. In fact, I got to get you on my main name to get you on that. Because my thing is, I don't care if she comes to my shit. Like, O'Shea got 2 videos on her. I would love, mediocre tutorial reviews want to do a fucking video with a female. That would be one I think that would do well. This is people always like accuse O'Shea of liking to deal with the ghetto shit. I'm like, okay, then this is an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? My point is, and because here's the thing, because he's interviewed Paris, he's interviewed the OnlyFans. So yeah. So my point is, what's important to establish this is, like I said, and I haven't heard nobody disagree with me with this yet. The main thing that is hemming us up is this idea that we're gender warm with women, and we are not. And I'm not gender warm with women. I'm here protecting the truth. I'm here saying we're going to put all the cards on the table and let the cards fall where they may. And women, and you have women and a lot of dudes that are invested in not doing that because they know what time it is. And so,
Right.
and so I've listened to a lot of her content. So, well, not as much as I could, but I've listened to enough. And I'm keeping, so if y'all, I keep telling y'all, if y'all can find some shit that's bullshit, feel free to email it to me, the link and the timestamp, and I will call my shit on it. Like I'm telling y'all, go look it up and go find the bullshit. If there's bullshit, find it. Because I've heard her when she talked about dudes. She ain't saying nothing we don't say. Like y'all niggas,
Right.
y'all niggas know who y'all be fucking with when they be crazy, and y'all still decide to go in deeper because the pussy good or whatever. She ain't saying nothing we ain't said.
Matter of fact, dudes chicks like her, dudes would keep for a while.
Yeah, well, it's basic. It ain't nothing being said before. So is mediocre tutorials and reviews. It's a lot of like, again, it's not about the information. It's about saying it validates our information in the eyes of a lot of people that try to get us pulled off of YouTube on the basis of us targeting women. Just like how the damn academics validate our information. Just like nobody's like, it's very few channels that are like broaching the wheel. Like I said, like channels like Namelesses are important, but that's not the point. The point is getting similar people saying the same things, or not similar people, or different groups, so it's not seen. So it's seen as more palatable. This is also something that helps a lot of dudes kind of ghost listen to us, and they agree with us, but they think it'd be too hot to come on here. That see, y'all, people are not thinking about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of social consequence as far as, because the internet is forever, right? So if you put something on there, your face is on here on an image, and it's associated with a trigger word, that could be people's livelihoods. And I think that was probably a front and center in earlier iterations of the manosphere, and some of that's chilled out now. But people forget that and get comfortable.
Hey, y'all, press 1 if y'all can hear this. I'm curious, because this is an experiment I'm doing. So press 1 if y'all can hear this. Pretty much, if you're watching this video, that means you're on the team, you're on one of my programs. Press 1 if y'all can hear this. Family, and I want to congratulate you on making a decision. It doesn't matter how much money you spend; it was still a decision that you made, and that's more. Y'all can hear it, okay? What a lot of people tend to do.
Yeah, it's just frame rates kind of low.
Okay, there's a reason why I shared that. I shared that because
I said the frame rate is low.
Huh?
Yeah, and that's probably just because
you said the frame rate's kind of
low. Same time.
Yeah, it can only do like actually. Yeah, it is because I'm streaming. It's like because I'm doing a couple of things. The reason why I did that is because the frame rate is going to be kind of low, but if people can hear the audio and the audio doesn't skip, that's actually what's more important. The way I do the live streams. But the reason why I did that is because that's a video. So that Kurt Nugent dude said that if you download a video, because it's easy to download videos via YouTube, you download a video and then you can use Chrome as I'm using Chrome. Use Chrome as a player and then put the video in Chrome, like in the search box or the browser box, and that brings the video up into the media player from your computer. So I'm streaming locally. So rather than taking up my bandwidth, and that's why everything freezes up when my videos are traditionally frozen up. Now it deletes. The audio is going to play. The frame rate's going to play really well as well. And I'm not necessarily, I am playing it with the video. So it's good. So it allows me to use StreamYard to do live streams and shit. And do stuff. It's going to let stuff run a lot smoother. Now the frame rate too is because I'm using this Surface. So once I use my actual laptop or my tower, that stuff will deal with that. So
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and because my towers and stuff have much more. I mean, this is a tablet technically, so right. I'm talking to y'all with a tablet. So, and this is a tablet. It's like a 2014. This is an older Surface. So the point is, the stuff works well for what it is. But that's some of the stuff that I'm gonna be putting out there as far as us, putting out. People want to talk about putting out a better product, saying, okay, this is what worked for me. This is where I got it from, and it's from a black dude, as you all saw it. So and that will allow some of this stuff to run smoothly as far as the audience hearing it, and us being able to play more stuff easier. Because I like StreamYard because it's very plug and play. You can do it from your phone, do it from a lot of stuff. So yeah. But anyway, because yeah, as far as her, that's the purpose. And so, and it's not like it's a whole bunch of channels like that. You got what, that Chantel Simone, this up and coming. You've got the Six Goddess. You got the Pink Pill. These are channels that can kind of serve as a buffer to say, okay, this is like its own like little orbit outside of what we do. We can go do interviews with and stuff like that. So all this stuff about these niggas buying into these channels, like you hate women, you hate this, you hate that. Okay, explain that. Explain this. Explain that. But we can't. And it's an emotional argument. And dudes just gotta, there's always gonna be male only channels in this space. Y'all need to value those channels. And it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is.
I kind of like it because now that takes the footwork on what men need to do, and it gets back on with the women, especially. And these are women who saying this from all socioeconomic class. Y'all don't get to play this little card. Oh, well, she's probably from the prissy suburbs, so that's why she's talking about the submissive. No, you got a girl who's straight from the hood, straight from 7th Street, St. Pete, because that's where she's from, who's saying the girls the same shit and will knock you the fuck out if you have something slick to say. Like, and then you got Six the Goddess, Roy, Elroy Cutno. It's all women from socioeconomic class saying the same thing. So y'all can't even, it's the same people that try to come up.
And it's also put pressure on these chicks that want to cape for females. Because look, I don't fuck with Nicole like that, but this makes it easier for Nicole to say what she says if she knows there's other women that are saying it, that have independent channels, independent stuff. This makes it harder for Rebecca to just go against what she's saying. This makes it easier for like imagine if the Roommates podcast interview her, which she would be somebody they would probably interview. Imagine if they see, now this is a way of projecting your influence, soft power. While at the same time, we're focusing on the things we need to be focused on, which is increasing the men in this space by going after other markets. I think that every channel should have multiple vectors in their channel. It shouldn't be just this channel. It should be like a sports channel plus this channel, this or plus this. That way you're doing things that'll go after other markets, but at the same time, you're feeding them in a little bit of this red pill stuff. Like, and you can have different ratios of how you do it. It depends on what makes sense. This also allows for people to monetize these channels a little bit better. So again, and with a wider audience, so we're not putting, it's not that we're putting pressure, but it's not so much pressure on a select, elite few people that are donating. And then some of these people are donating like Dollar Watch and stuff like that, have crypto and stuff like that. We can expand it. It creates more of a network. So now I understand, there's certain people out there that are not thinking from a we standpoint. They're thinking from a them standpoint and trying to control. I hope I've established I'm not that, because if I was that, there would have been easier ways for me to do it. There really would be. But I'm sitting here walking you all through the mentality of a lot of things as to why I'm doing it, so that when it starts to happen, you all are not like, oh, this nigga switching up or any stupid shit like that. I don't know. I'm trying. Let me see if I'm even still on, because I was running out of time. I'm actually about to upgrade StreamYard into the full package, because that dude Nugent has a lot of stuff with the background and stuff. So I'm about to work a lot of that shit. I'm about to start being a lot more on Facebook as far as my lives as well. That's kind of like why I'm also. And then that video was a video for like one of my businesses, like one of my kind of direct sales. We're gonna call them direct sales businesses. Affiliate marketing business, stuff like that. And I'm going to start merging some of this stuff a little bit. So I'm going to have to start presenting things in a way that, there's other channels can go 100% like hardcore. Like, and I'm not necessarily hardcore, but and then, hopefully I'll do the blog post that'll really start to bring a lot of the facts together. So anyway, y'all got any final thoughts? But yeah, man, like Love Dorsey, like, yeah, I wouldn't mind her coming on my shit, because everybody seems to be getting their exclusive stuff. But really,
I definitely bring her on to everybody, man.
Yeah, like let her know that definitely there's people over here preaching. I'm gonna start doing a lot more reaction to her stuff, and I'm gonna be making sure because I know her people say that Facebook page. She says that Facebook page is fake, so I'll make sure I refer people to her Instagram channel. And again, it's not about because see what Rebecca tried to do is say that we're just using her as a method to attack women. That's not what we're about. And this idea that we don't hold men accountable. Look, man, at the end of the day, bitch, you letting them fuck. And we have no control over that. We can't stop. And that's what she said. You know the yeah. So we ain't got no control. We can't stop them. And you can't shame no nigga from getting pussy. Like these niggas fucking fat bitches don't care. And they'll argue with you about it.
Well, we bring up the fact that ain't none of them getting raped like that. And if that was the case, something will happen, which means there was a level of consension, and then everybody's like, but he was lying and make evolutionary psychology explains that there's 10 factors. They say there's 10 factors that women are going through, and the men only got 3. So if that's the case, what the hell's going on with these 10 factors to all agree?
Yeah, so all this shaming all this bullshit about what the fuck we need to shame. Like I think it got cut off. Did it?
Nah, I hear you.
Nah, I'm still here.
You're good.
No, I'm talking about if YouTube cut it off because okay, it is still alive because I only had a certain amount of time with streaming. They only give you 20 hours if you too cheap to use. Oh man, he got that still to use the free shit. That's why I can't do 9 people. And I'm not gonna be doing 9 people. It's gonna be rare you see me do panels like that because I need people to be able to get their
point across.
Say and doing like more than 4. So yeah, there's gonna be times where I bring in females. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be 2 people, and that's just gonna be what it's gonna be. But yeah, man. And at the end of the day, like people, again, we all interact with women, and it is what it is. And you see like white women having an opinion about like that Kevin shit. Like again, this allow us to grow our shit and get more access in the algorithm, so we can start putting shit out there. Shout out to Dollar Watcher. You should definitely subscribe to his shit too. And I'm sorry, like we have Male Enlightenment, Ramil. And then even the channels that are that Roger has a woman on there every once in a while. So I mean, come on, it's always going to be new coming online as well. Some of these millennials will be coming online. You got people like BGS. The space is intact. We have done a really good job, and it's time to go to the next level. So because I think people are looking at what they'll lose and not looking at what they'll gain. Gain some really good interviews with some really good people, some people you all might not even ever thought about or calculated about. And we've already shown we can get some of those interviews now. I mean, some really, really great kick-ass content. People more than ever outside of COVID are coming into this space. So this is an opportunity because more dudes are coming online. I want to be able to communicate. I want to do that project this year as far as project getting y'all to that's one of the reasons why I want to create a website. I want to create a website that serves like a gateway into the manosphere, and then we just put a website on, and then you all can take that to the barbershop, and people start spreading cards out, just promoting it to y'all's individual barbershops or barbershops out there. We need to do something that kind of incentivize people to do that as far as local promotion and stuff. That's why maybe it might be a good idea to do like local Instagram channels with individual cities, so that we can say, hey man, you promote this shit, we'll promote you for free. I'm thinking about that just off the wall. But I got to show that these Instagram pages actually have some weight to them, so that's where my own internet marketing has to be fruition. So you all have no fucking idea some of the ideas that I've cooked that I haven't even talked about. Like that idea I just gave is just something I just did off the top of my head. I forget a lot of shit that people. I know that sounds arrogant, like Kaya was saying, I forgot better stuff you thought of, but there's stuff that I've forgotten that I literally had to get like a whiteboard so I could write it down or to do a voice memo, because this shit that y'all have no idea some of the stuff that I can do, and where things are going. And it doesn't have to be only a select few YouTubers that benefit from it, because we have different markets. Some of y'all are going to be better in other markets than others. And then you look at what O'Shea's doing with the global shit, with the King Gonda shit, and that's also going to increase our stuff in the algorithm, because that will allow us to bring more people in from a global perspective, like our market, Black men. And even though we may have some issues here or there, the truth is, that the more people we can do in the market, the more that allows us to spread out in the market to promote our shit.
And I think I want to add just a point on that, because I don't think people get that. The way people look at Black folks in the NBA is the same way we're seeing when it comes to dealing with concepts such as white supremacy and dealing with the gynocracy on a global level. People need to understand that. And I say that because we, again, are the ground zero, the petri dish a lot of this stuff is cultivated on. And when we go to other parts in the world, it's individuals that have brought that culture from where they went to school at that's starting to infect the areas that they live at. And a lot of locations in Africa are excellent illustration of that. Dudes are going to be looking for solutions. And if we can get there first to present the data that we've accumulated and get agency over it before it's disseminated, that is an opportunity. It will spread. People do have questions, and we already have answers for it, which is why this stuff is spreading like wildfire locally. Go ahead.
And we also need to start taking more control of what our image are. We have benefited to a certain extent from white people promoting that shit as a byproduct, but they're doing it for their own agenda. And a lot of times these motherfuckers be trying to blame us for certain things that happen. So we need to take control over what it is and use the internet to benefit from it. And there's things we can learn from them too. Like, I don't know shit about Afro beats, and apparently that's a big thing. We need to start taking this. There's a lot of different vectors that we have only like scratched the surface, and people need to stop being so applicable to change. As if, and yeah, you're right. There are people that they will do this for their own personal gain at the expense of you, but you already know I'm usually one of the first ones to disseminate that when that happens, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not going to put out certain names, but there's people that's like, when people talk about like we need to come together and shit as a group, I'm always, because it's like come together under your flag, and it's like no, and I get, and they don't anyway. So anyway, it must be somebody else on, because I'm like consistently like losing people.
Yeah, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson's on now.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so I'm not mad. I know everybody's promoting that. What is it? The black skin in my skin. I need to check that out.
Yeah, that Nate part. I saw it on YouTube. That's my to watch list. I may watch it tonight.
Yeah.
Probably worth talking about.
Yeah, and support Nate Parker, because any dude that gets that kind of hate like he does, he definitely is on some real shit. Like Nate Parker needs Nate Parker needs a space like ours to be big, just like how some of these you see what these white boys be doing, getting into Disney's ass and shit like that. And how people benefit. Our space can be that big, and that's where we got to start looking at the global numbers too, even when it comes to American influence, because they can help us build that. I mean, you got people like Wody Maya and stuff, they be having like 1 million followers. Like, man, please, they ain't operating on nothing we can't operate on. And think about it, they ain't got the kind of first world stuff that we got. But and trust me, I understand the ADOS, not ADOS stuff, even when it comes to that shit, like telling the truth about that. Also, what is it that movie on Netflix, that new movie on Netflix, which is what's the dude that plays Falcon, Anthony Mackie, and it's another black dude on there too. So
you talking about on Netflix?
Yeah, very
Into the Wire.
Yeah, now that wasn't a bad movie. That's a good little popcorn movie.
It wasn't. It's the same Anthony Mackie and the dude that plays Frank Saint on Snowfall.
Yeah, so we got to support shit like that. We got to support when stuff is on there. And I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Actually, I'm gonna watch that as soon as the stream's done.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good little like in and out movie. Netflix has been doing pretty good with it. With that, yeah, especially when it's black men like that. And I'm not telling y'all to see shitty shit. If it wasn't bad, I'd say it. But it's funny. It's interesting. And like I said, it's like black military, but like it's funny. You got to see it. It shows black men in a good light too, all around. To be honest with you, So Yeah, you got to support that, and it is entertaining. Got black men in Eastern Europe and shit, which is interesting. It's interesting.
It is. It is.
I even like the fact that they addressed. They said, "Why you think they showed me and they don't show some?"
So,
Yeah, y'all got. I'll let y'all see it. You got that. You've got well, that's like I said, we got to get into the entertainment route. There's some channels that they do some awesome breakdowns and they don't show their face. Some of them do, some of them don't. There's a lot of room. There's just a lot of room for people to create content. They actually get some money on, but actually can kind of say our perspective, but still, like, we got to get good. If we can get good at saying like our perspective of it, this is what I would say. The way you do that is this. So you got Young Ripper, you got Amazing Lucas. What you want is you want to create a channel that's like a general channel. Shout out to Comics Explain too, because he does other channels. It's probably This Explain, That Explain, which I'm gonna start. I need to come up with a different slogan other than Explain, so I don't seem like I'm biting off his ass. But something similar. Explain videos, because that's something I think is something that can attract the general audience. But then what you do is you create kind of like how do you do BGS for women. So we know BGS's main people are men, but he had like a byproduct of women that wanted to hear the stuff too. So he created a channel. And honestly, if he would have I still think he should reactivate that channel. I really do. I really believe that he could grow that shit. And I think he has an insight. Kevin is good about communicating things to a certain extent, but at his level, he's great. BGS is great at communicating things at his level. Like, I'm looking at a commercial right now. What's this commercial? What is this? I wish I could turn my camera around. Hold on, let me get the title. Blah 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 blah. Judas and the Black Messiah. And it's coming out in theaters to HBO Max. Y'all need to check that out, that trailer, because that's some interesting shit. It's from the dude. It's from both of the black dudes from Get Out, and it looks like some Black Panther stuff.
Oh yeah,
okay,
weren't they talking about a Fred Hampton movie?
Okay.
Is this it?
Yeah.
And that isn't that the that's the picture Jason Black uses, right? Or
No, that's Eldridge. Fred Hampton was the dude that got assassinated.
The dude. Matter of fact, it's the dude who was the informant. Actually, he played in Atlanta, that TV show Atlanta.
Yeah.
What was his character? You'll see his face though. You'll see his face.
Oh, that's the dude that was the informant. Oh man.
Yeah, that's the dude who plays the informant of what's the name.
So yeah, man. So there is just so many opportunities. So when people look at, and it's more, y'all gotta look at this as more expansion. This isn't changing the manosphere. The core of what the manosphere is, it's kind of like you gotta look at it like stars and shit. Like, it's the soul system's gonna be the soul system. And then it's looking at us opening up other markets. But the soul system is not going to change. Now, the soul system may benefit. Okay, this is what I was going to say. Like, just like how you had BGS for women, there was a byproduct of that. What you also have is, like, you can do a sports channel. You can do, like, let's say you do a geekdom thing, and then you do, like, a general geekdom thing. You may cover certain topics more than others because, you may cover certain topics, but you make it more, because there's always going to be, this is what the fucking geekdom people fuck up on Facebook. They're better about it on YouTube but Facebook. You cover general stuff, kind of like what Young Ripper does. Young Ripper is a black man. You see it, everything, but he covers general stuff and then he applies it. But what you should do is say, okay, I have this separate channel that is promoted to black men specifically, or black people specifically, in which I sell it as I cover specific black things from a black male perspective. So you still keep that audience over there that wants to talk about the general stuff, but at the same time, you have this audience where it's going to be smaller because the demographics are smaller, but you can segue it into talking about specifically black. Like, for instance, there's a channel called Alux. I'm gonna show you all, and this is gonna be one last thing. Then we're gonna get final words. Like, I always do like 3 fucking final words. I swear I need to stop doing that shit. Let me see. So make sure y'all subscribe to Dollar Washer. Boy, I tell you, T. Son Johnson taking all my shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that though. That's good. That's good. He that shows how much pull he's getting, which is great. That's a good sign. So T.S. Johnson, yeah, fucking Manosphere Financial, man. I knew that was you, City of Truth. You motherfuckers, I swear. Y'all be thinking like, I don't know who the fuck y'all think y'all dealing with. But anyway, what I was gonna say, Lux. Oh, this channel. And they're always talking about, it's like kind of, stars to the rich and famous kind of shit. They do content kind of like that. Very good.
Yeah,
But they
follow
also
too.
they also have another channel. And I know that channel, have you seen the channel Black Excellence? I hope this.
I want to say I've seen that name on
Can you hear me?
On a panel before. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Yeah, that's not the same motherfucker. That dude's an asshole. He always got something to say. Well, he got something to say, but he ain't saying shit. So see this Black Excellence. This is like them expanding into black stuff, and it's funny because I swear it's like a white bitch talking about black shit. But whatever, it's good stuff. But this is stuff that we should have had. Let me see. I'm curious. I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all may laugh at me, but this is a guilty pleasure. But I've seen that Carmen Sandiego little cartoon on Netflix too. I went through that. Very good. They made it more accurate. Yeah, they got her like
San Diego.
Yeah, basically it's a younger version, and she's like, they got her Argentinian, so they got the melanin in, the red hair, so they got her Afro Latina looking, but they still, and they got the black chick, this the leader of Acme, being typical black chick, shooting people and all that shit, running shit, they throw that pen and then her hologram pop up, talk about, talking shit with all the people. What the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, yeah. Basically, so, but it's good. It's good. They got a couple of black dudes in there. Well, it's diverse, but it's a good little cartoon. That's a movie I'm surprised they haven't made yet. That's a movie. You trying to bring women up. That's a movie I'm surprised you all have not made. The problem is they fucked that up with feminism. But that's like something you could get some money off of that if you do it right. So anyway, this is like Black Excellence, and the one that I found that I liked, it'd be like top. It's like top businesses, top this, top that. And this is what they did. They have a Lux, and then they have this vector. And this is actually some really good information if you're trying to give out some general information. I'm not gonna lie. Like this is actually something you can do research. And actually, I found this channel when they were talking about top best Black Atlanta suburbs. They got top best suburbs in black suburbs in like North Carolina and shit like that. And so this is an arm of a Lux. Yeah, what's up, man? Zaki?
Yeah, what up, Ed? What up, chat? What up, panel?
You wasn't trolling because I had my finger on that trigger, man. So anyway, so like I was saying, they do that. So this is not gonna be on their main audience, but they created that as like an arm. And so like dudes like Young Ripper could do, I'm not saying you should do it at the same time, build it up, and then you say, okay, I want to create this one vector to speak to this one demo because it's potential there, growth there. And that's what we could do. Just like how you saw people do this for women, or this for women.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there are avenues. Yeah, go ahead. Huh?
You like Young Ripper? You go or somebody over here calls.
I'm not subscribed to Young Ripper, but I like his content, but it ain't something I want to see in my feed all the damn time.
Yeah, yeah. I used to vibe with him a lot, but literally like, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like a black guy, he's in the comics and stuff, he's kind of red pill in and of itself, you know what I'm saying? We have some of the similar political
a lot of us would like Young Ripper. A lot of y'all would like him.
Yeah. But he be going too hard in the paint with sometimes where like, for instance, he seems to like he's proud, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a pro-black by any means, but you know what I'm saying, like the textbook pro-black. But he comes across as being like, I'm so pro-black that I completely don't subscribe with any SJW stuff whatsoever. Like he'll be like the kind of guy that's saying, oh, why do we have Martin Luther King Day off? You know what I'm saying? That's where he be coming from sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
I'm cool with that as long as
it get cry.
I'm just
he don't
democratic.
coon it up. Oh, he walks that line.
Yeah, he walked that line. Yeah.
Well.
I feel like real talk. If there was like a video of a black person,
cool,
like let's say
like
there was just a guy just minding his own business, and literally a cop being drawn by a black,
and then you got to
he would still find a way to justify it. He would be on that Brandon Tatum shit.
Yeah, he can be sometimes, but he doesn't usually shit like that. He's smart enough to stay away from, because at the end of the day, he'll usually jump in it if it's like comic related, because that's easier. But you got Amazing Lucas. He's at 324,000 subscribers. So my point is, there's a pathway and there's a market for what we need to do. And sometimes it's called, in marketing, it's called bridging. So in marketing, what they do, like one of the ways, if you're trying to grow, let's say you don't really care about having an audience, but you're trying to sell stuff online, but you want to do it with free traffic. If you just, everybody tends to fall in the trap of just wanting to talk about how to make money online. You really don't want to do that, because everybody's already there and competing for that market. So you may want to be in that market, but you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket. What you want to do is do what's called bridging, in which you talk about other things that are similar or related. Like, for instance, I'll talk about like maybe motivational stuff. Like you've seen Roxy Beckles do this. Like she'll do motivation, but it's fitness, but it's also helping women with overall health. And she explained why she came to that with O'Shea stuff. And you see Avery Willie doing that. You see how Young Ripper does politics, but also geekdom, but it's more geekdom. The point is, if you say, okay, I want to get people to make money online. Like Glenn and Cameron does this too, as far as like his courses, and he spreads it out with different things, finance, disrupt the mill, all of that. Technically, his stuff is not anti-woman, but it is more focused on men as his overall demographic, not black men, but all men. You focus on other things that you can bridge to what you're talking about. So if let's say people like shoes. Well, I like talking about shoes. Let's say that. But at the same time, shoes could be expensive. So maybe people that like talking about shoes would be interested in maybe a way to, basically buy more shoes. And so you bridge it, creating what's called a bridge page, which is kind of like a squeeze page, but you do it with a video that kind of transitions that conversation. So you make the offer, they click on it, you explain it a little bit more, and they sign up with their email. And then you could you have a newsletter that you can kind of forward them information about what your solution to whatever problem you projected is. And when you do that way you have a bigger market that you can deal with, rather than just dealing with people that straight want to make money online. You're able to bridge them into it. That's kind of what that is. You can do the same thing online with content, creating content. Because at the end of the day, what we're selling is subscribers. We're not really selling people paying for shit. So that's what I'm saying the manosphere needs to go. It's not about changing what you're doing, it's expanding upon it. So anyway, that's enough for today. I know NBA fan just got on, so I want all y'all to get y'all final thoughts. And some of y'all is gonna be your first thought and your final thought. And then because my numbers are just dipping. And I get it. Shout out to Tiasan Johnson. So yeah, and let's see what's up. Any agreements, disagreements going on?
I think that one thing that this sphere needs to do is exactly kind of what you were hyping on, is we need to broaden our horizons, man. And I think a lot of it has to do with, you can't beat the something with a dead horse, right? I know the issues that are affecting us and stuff like that, but I think we need to be like a Renaissance man. You know what I'm saying? We can have certain conversations, but we need to have mediums. Like that's why we're like DJ Kuda's channel, man, because he talks about relationships. He can talk about red pill stuff. He can talk about politics a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be multifaceted.
You got to be focused to a certain extent too. Like you don't want to be everywhere all the time, because if you're gonna do that, I'll say this. To be fair, Kuda could kind of get away with that, but that's not what you want to duplicate. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like you don't grow unless you have kind of the cult of personality. So the question you have to ask yourself is: are you marketing yourself, or are you really marketing the information that people want to watch you to get? Because if it's about you, then yes, you can do that. You absolutely can do that. Like, I think that's one of the things Solo kind of does, but you got to really ask yourself, are you positioned to do that? Like, take Avery Willie for, like, women can easily do that because if they look good, they can get subscribers just off of that. Dudes can do that too, but you just have to be aware that that's what you're doing. And I'm not saying you got to show your face. I'm saying you got to say look good, but that you got to be aware that that's what you're doing. Maybe that is what he is. Maybe it isn't. Go ahead. My bad. Finish your thought.
Although, that was pretty much it, man. You know, shout out to NBA fan, man. He was, you know, we were chopping up the other day, man. That's all I had, man. I'm just gonna go on mute, let everybody say what they need to say, and that's about it, man. So
absolutely. All right, so we're gonna start with we're gonna jump on Alan. What's up?
What's good, Ed? How's it going, man?
No, nothing much. Yeah, I hate to say your first thought and final thought, but
oh no, you're good. I just was actually coming on here quickly I'm actually gonna go ahead and rewatch like your stream, but I still want to go ahead and get your takes, your final take, if you will, on the inauguration, and just see what to really should we expect moving forward on the next 100 days here in the Biden era.
I mean, nothing. I mean, as far as black men, nothing. I mean, you know, that, I mean, what you're going to expect is for him to like rebalance everything. He's going to do a couple of things. He's going to try to get this, what he said he was going to do. He's going to try to get this, these vaccines out here as fast as possible, get people as many as possible taking it. He's going to try to, remember he said to get the economy fixed, you got to get control of the virus. And he's going to get these stimulus checks out here, increase the moratoriums. A lot of stuff can be done with executive actions. He's going to also be dealing with the global situation as far as saying, look, Trump's not here. And trust me, regardless of what he say, he ain't coming back. Even a lot of Republicans really don't want him back as far as people that's in there, and reestablishing these relationships. Like, you know, America's open for business the regular way. Even like the China shit, like he's not going to change with that. Like said that Trump got a lot. The dude is supposed to be the main dude to deal with China said Trump got a lot right. Most of the stuff he said was correct on China. So it's going to be saying basically it's literally AOL, American Online. You know, he was in the Biden administration. You remember, Biden was the secretary. He was the chairman of Foreign Relations Committee. So they're out there kind of similarly, not as much, but kind of similarly to the Secretary of State. So he's known. So, I mean, that's mainly what he's going to do. And then, you know, what he said with the immigrants, DACA, you already know, the immigrants, you already know. So, yeah. I mean, the first 100 days, that's what we're gonna get done. Because and then right now you got the that damn impeachment of Trump. Honestly, there's no point. It is no point having a trial. Like, honestly, that was a waste of fucking time. And
it sure was.
It really was. That's gonna that really was. I mean, I don't.
That was just dumb. That's gonna bite them in the ass, though.
It's no point. You might as well let's just vote on that shit and say, okay, he's not there. It is what it is.
Well, I think the reason they tried to do that is to make sure they prevent him from rerunning again 4 years down the road.
That's true. But you know what? I'm going to keep it real with you. I've said this with Republicans. I'm going to say this with Democrats. You're going to have to beat them. If he wants, because that's a Republican problem. That's more of a Republican problem, in my opinion, if he runs like that. Because he's going to freeze what the Republicans are doing. And so they're just as invested in keeping him from running. I think there'll be consequences if he tries. I think they'll say, look, motherfucker, you run again, your kids are not running again. And it's not just going to be the Republicans, because the Republicans can't make that a threat with somebody with Trump. It's going to be the donors. Like, we're going to get you economically. You're only a couple of billion deep. Now, you better take this L like everybody else took it and let your kids run for another day, you know, but you come back and being 75, 76 years old, one thing in the White House, another thing in the death's door, and your kids are going to pay for that shit.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and that don't matter how much people want. If them donors say that, he depends on that shit. And another thing too is if they keep doing that shit too, is like now it's going to be like, okay, well, all this stuff, this trial shit is exactly what you said. They're gonna start doing that with the trial shit. Yeah, they're gonna now it's like, okay, we're gonna make it so you can't run. And because the thing about it is the donors care about stability more than anything, and it's getting to a point now where Trump is starting to not be good for stability.
Yeah, yo, and then what I was going to say about the whole capital thing, conservative. And I don't like to label myself, but I'm more on the conservative side. I'm not a Republican, but I'm a conservative, bro. This country's going to go hyper liberal, but that capital stuff basically made all conservatives look bad. They made it basically said the media was able to paint a picture, kind of like the whole BLM thing, where it's just like, if you are on this side, this is what you support. You know how conservatives say, hey, oh, BLM does this, BLM does that, which in a lot of the cases they did support a lot of that rioting, right? So now liberals can use that against conservatives and say, didn't you guys support the Capitol thing? Like all the Republicans got shook. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, absolutely, because a lot of them, they support, like, I don't even think they truly knew what the fuck they were supporting. Like, they just didn't think the cat would eventually come out of the bag, and it's like that Russian roulette. That one had the trigger in the bullet in that chamber, and that time they rolled it, and it blew up in their face. And yeah, so you got that. As far as the hyper liberal, this country isn't going any further than it's already going. I mean, the thing, it really isn't. So I think people have this. The shit that's really being changed that they're not talking about, like automation, is something that people talk about, and they're getting like just stressed out. It's just a lot of it's unnecessary. So anyway, there's that.
Right.
So NBA fan.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I just saw you were on, and I thought that the chat was going to continue a little longer. But I mean, just shout out to everybody on the panel and about the topics you guys are talking about. I mostly agree with what you guys are saying, and the people in the manosphere are going to have to start embracing change because it's inevitable at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, and the change is not going to be changed. Like, it's not going to be a thing where you wake up and then it's like a whole bunch of bitches on your panel. So that's not what's going to happen. Like the manosphere is going to stay intact. It's more like it's going to expand into other things. So the channels that are the channel. Here's the thing. The thing is, this is good for the core channels. Because let's say your channel, you support men only spaces. Well, guess what? You think I'm going to stop promoting like Ramil's channel? Ramil has great topic selection. Shout out to Male Enlightenment. We're gonna, Roger, those channels are gonna get more views because we'll be able to funnel the correct audiences to them. That's the thing people are not thinking about. They're assuming that every channel is gonna flip, and that's not what's gonna happen. So we'll be funneling, like shout out to Dennis Sperling, who has a panel. Even though he holds a tight ship to it, he still has it. So we're gonna be funneling the right traffic to the right people. It's just, and when that's yeah.
Right. So some of that residual audience could flow into people who are male first, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. And
Of course, but that's already happening. That's already been happening with but at the end of the day, people choose who they want to let on their panels. Like, I mean, even Ramil shit has women in the chat. Art Igmore, Art the Stall. These are male only panels. And these are panels I definitely want to funnel traffic to. BGS is on those panels half the time. You've got Charles Faulkner. So I mean, the thing when people say male only first, it's like you live in a world with everybody. It's kind of like a white person saying, "Oh, well, we need to have only white people in America." Well, I mean, you can have certain things to a certain extent, but I mean, I'm sorry, black people are going to be in here. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And it's kind of like people, and then YouTube is a public platform. It's, as far as I'm concerned, shit, Reddit ain't even as racist as Reddit is. Reddit ain't just all white folks. So it's kind of like I don't get that. Like there's this Patreon, Telegram. There's ways to, if you people want to have I have a Telegram that has 17 people in it, and I'm very like you're in it. I am very 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 very. There's people that ask me to be in it. I am very very cautious who I let in there because I speak very freely in there. Not that I say. Say shit that I wouldn't otherwise say, but there's times where it's best I not make a video, but I need to let it out and I let it out there. So Telegram is a great solution. I mean, you can have up to 200,000 people in Telegram. and then channels can kind of spring up from that. So I get what you're saying, and I'm not, and this is what I'm saying. This is why I said there needs to be a purple pill space, so that all of that. Guess what? If there's a non-male first space thing, it's like, look, you're in the wrong space. You need to be over the purple pill shit that we control. That's where all the bitches can go, and all the niggas that need bitches to validate them can go. That way we have a place to send them. So I'm not trying to tell people that they can't have what the fuck they want to have. I'm not cursing at you, but they can't have what because they want to have in the way they want to have it. I'm saying that to expand, we can meet those needs. It's just people gonna have to work with us a little bit, and it's not meant to tell people to just come off it. It's just to say, I mean, there's construction in the back, and we're not trying to make you not have it. Like I said, male enlightenment channel is growing like gangbusters, and Ramil's channel is like 5,000. And it's higher than mine. So there, and my channel for the most part is always going to be male. It's not going to be like a whole bunch. It's always going to be probably at least like 80% male. And it's not going to be a whole bunch of females coming on my chats like that. I may do interviews and stuff like that for business, but I plan on creating other channels. So if I have, like, for instance, if I'm talking all this shit about that purple pill thing, what I might do is just have a vlogcast channel, and then that's the channel where you're more liable to see that, and then this channel stays true to what it's always been. That's if I get enough women like that, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna make y'all have to deal with that. I'm gonna be like, look, if y'all choose to watch me, you're choosing to watch me on another channel, because like with some of the stuff that I do, I'm gonna have to do it in such a way that nobody can try to pigeonhole me and fuck with shit I really want to do, because ultimately my goal is to merge kind of like what I do with my first name with what I do with my my middle. Edward is a middle name, one of two, and that way people can't try to use that to attack me financially. But I'm gonna plan on supporting channels that are male only first, and getting those views to those channels so they can get stronger in the algorithm to get the markets they want to get. So it's always gonna come back. Go ahead though.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I think that like the dissenting side to what you just said, I think that basically they view the whole manosphere as like a locker room or a barbershop.
Yes, I agree.
And within a barbershop or a locker room, normally when you're speaking freely in those places, there's like 0% females there. And with everything changing and everything like that, that's kind of like where the backlash.
Yeah, but the manosphere was never the manosphere. The truth is, the manosphere was never that. 1.0 went back and forth with women all the time. I mean, the listed Obsidian was what Obsidian going after women and women activating that list on all of it. So it was never that. What happens is everybody looks at certain channels, and then they like. I don't look at every channel in the manosphere. I have the channels I like, and I have channels I know about. I don't know about every channel in the manosphere. And then I, will promote channels of people that are saying similar things, or because eventually I'm not always going to say it, and or people that are doing things better that I can do, or things that are augmenting what I say, and I'll promote a channel because they speak to a different demographic. Look, I'm not going to act like I can speak to zillennials like a zillennial can. So I'm not going to say I'm developing anything, because I'm not. But what I'm doing is I'm augmenting what they're already doing, which is something, by the way, that everybody don't do. Everybody don't do that. You have a lot of people in the manosphere that they can be very selfish about,
stingy with the clout.
Exactly. So these sometimes will be the same content creators that got a lot to say about influence, and that's where I do agree with O'Shea on. A lot of them people can shut the fuck up, because you own your channel. You have every right to do it with your channel. You want to do it, but at the same time, stop. Like, take Jada Black for example. Jada Black is his own person. I'm not saying he's stingy with the clout, but the truth is Jada Black operates his own stuff in his own lane the way he wants to do it. And so, but you don't hear Jada Black really talking about what like the manosphere is doing, because he don't want us talking about what the fuck he's doing, and he stays to himself, and that's great. And I promote Jay because Jay, it's cool like that. And you have some women that come over, but Jay has never changed. He may have not as hardcore as he was, but he hasn't changed, and he's got like I think 177,000 subs. People don't know that, but you got people that it's like they will want to comment on what people are doing, but they don't want to share nothing about nothing. It's like, okay, a lot of the channels I promote, by the way, are channels that are male only channels. So this gives people a way of saying, hey, you want that locker room conversation? this is the conversation. Another thing is if audience members are saying that, I'm like, then you can create your own channel. If you saw me do it where I just did it from my phone and then I pulled up StreamYard every once in a while, you all can do that. Not even with the Telegram thing or stuff like that. But you all see how I interact with Telegram. It's not like just a chat group. It's something where we can do messages. Hell, you could do the Instagram 60-second video thing if you want. I just don't do that. We share links. We do all of that. And that's kind of like a test group that I'm going to expand that on. So people, it's the same. It's a much more dynamic way of communicating than Facebook groups. And even though I think Facebook group would be good to augment it, I think Telegram, Discord is a way of doing it too, but Discord can be kind of difficult to get involved with on the phone versus this is easier to plug and play with. And this allows to kind of control those conversations. And by the way, if you build them big enough, you can have whole unlisted Instagram videos that feed into it. That's what people do with Patreon. They'll have unlisted Instagram, YouTube videos that they put on Patreon. That's how BGS everybody does it, lives. So there's ways to create that locker room talk in the way that people want it. But a lot of them dudes also want the benefit of seeing shit grow because it validates the conversation they're involved in. And that's the thing that I will come back at them too. It's like they want both ways. And it's like, that's not how that works.
Right.
But some people are just gonna be mad, and for them, fuck them. Y'all know what y'all can do. I mean, I'll meet you halfway as much as I can, but it gets to a point. It's like, okay, well then you're just gonna be mad. What did O'Shea say? O'Shea needs to make a T-shirt. I know that you're mad, but it's not my fault. That shit would sell. Bitch, I know that you're mad, but it's or German Shepherds. I can't believe that. I can't believe you call them German Shepherds.
All right, peace to the panel. I'm gonna hop off. You have a good one.
Yeah, NBA fan, and I got you, man. I got you. There's some stuff I need to talk to you about later on. So yeah. Anyway, peace out. So Pharaoh.
My last thoughts. I appreciate you for letting me on the panel. Like I said, I'll make sure because Love Dorsey, she has heard of O'Shea. So she's not and probably, she probably have heard of everybody else too in the manosphere. So when I link back down there to St. Pete, most likely it's gonna be in the middle of February. I'll make sure, when we link up, well, if I ever see her, try to link up and connect with her.
Yeah, I'm telling you, priority needs to go to the bigger folks because the bigger folks, like I said, I only have a certain amount of kinetic output. Versus O'Shea. I'm not known for interviews. I got to get my interview game up, but definitely, O'Shea is going to be the best. And I've sent O'Shea her information, and he's done videos on her, not because of me, but I hope that I help with that. But he agrees with it, and like I said, she's got a lot of content to pull from. It's a lot of reactions, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. Her shit carries a lot of views. If them chicks are gonna do reactions on what she does, we might as well get the views on it. Damn, this chair.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, if chicks and everyone get mad at us, like you can point straight to the source and be like, hey, she's saying about the same shit, and it ain't gonna be no Rebecca Lynn Pope because she's just that thorough. She's not gonna go back on that shit.
Yep,
so,
and she's not on YouTube either. So it's like I'm sharing this to tell y'all to go to her Instagram. That not her Facebook, because that's not her Facebook. And for some strange
reason, I found out that was a fake page. I don't know who hacked her page.
No, she said that's fake. Somebody just built a page around it because she pulls views, and and so that's a way of kind of. If she's not on YouTube, then she's not on YouTube. I mean, shit, we do reactions to people that are on YouTube. But she say some interesting shit in a way, like I said, it'd be a good way to get views. I don't want to do that initially, but just like how people be using Kevin Samuels, you build her up in the algorithm and say, look, that's also a way to coach her ass to come back to YouTube too, because you can do lives, vlogs on. I think she does it. It shares it on different. She does it on different platforms that it's shared. But YouTube is going to be an algorithm that it'll be tailor made for her to grow on. It just would.
Right.
And my thing is bringing her into this debate. It was kind of like the kind of what Obsidian had in mind with Danica Marie. I don't have a personal issue with Danica Marie, but Danica Marie she's going to be real to a certain extent, and there's things behind what she's saying and she could try to pretend like it's not, but it is. And it's like, look. I 70% of the stuff you got, I'm good with, but it's that 30%. At the end of the day, you in too much in gynocracy territory with that 30%.
Mm-hmm.
She's in, I would say, the matriarchy. She's a perfect example of what a black matriarchy would look like.
Yeah, leading from the back.
Yeah, like and no, I'm not doing that. But she has her purpose, in which I think is where it's value there, and so it's not picket fights for unnecessary, but yeah, I think sometimes dudes need to move forward. I mean, Trump lost, man. I mean, everybody wants to get angry about 80% of black men voted for the Democrats. 80% of black men did it. That's actually huge.
That is, when I seen it was damn near 20% that went for Trump, I was like, okay. I was like, but I know Craig, the tech guy, he was like, he just more interested. He wants to see how black men do in the midterms, and I was thinking like,
that's gonna be important.
That is because I was like, that is a chance for the Republicans to take the House.
Well, so, that's also a good temperature. Is are black men gonna? The biggest thing I look at for that are black men going to increase how much they're voting? Like, what is the turnout going to be for black men? Like, are this demographic really serious? Because if it is, then there's a lot of damage that can be done. And and like I said, it is what it is. I'm all, but as far as dudes focusing, see, a lot of dudes had it in their mind that black men were gonna like do this overwhelming thing, and I'm like, I don't know why y'all thought that, and they really believe that. So a lot of it is them getting mad at the reality. They met with the reality of what's going on, and then they got pissed. And I'm like, well, you all were wrong for having that in the first place. So man, you all were wrong for even believing that, and people tried to tell you, yo ass, that regardless of who won, that this is what the outlook was going to be, and they didn't want to hear that. So at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to what's going on. There's going to be a lot of like stuff. This is opportunity for change. It's also opportunity to grow. I've been going back and forth for how much like intensity I'm going to put with this channel compared to what I'm already doing, because there's other stuff I definitely want to do. And it I'll be able to come back to this, but I'm definitely going to make sure I put some stuff out there so at least it can be that growth. And yeah, like I said, the main thing I want to leave you all with is we are not here to just beat up on black women. We are here to tell the truth no matter who the fuck doesn't like it. And the reality of the situation, and you see that often run up against a lot of black men as well as black women that don't like it. That's what we are here for. This idea that people, that gender war shit has always been projected onto us as a mechanism of trying to make it sound like we're abusing women emotionally. You saw them do that with Kevin. You saw them. That's why they keep their little things. Like they would say, well, Kevin said she was a this. No, he asked her, but just by him asking her is a problem. Or she's a little girl, even though she's 35. They're trying to sue Kevin.
Yeah, like, that was retarded. I was like, bro, really? I'm like,
yeah,
is
and
this
then
even real? Wow.
Like y'all want to play this clubhouse shit. It's like, yo, you gotta be able to formulate protection because you niggas ain't gonna do shit if motherfuckers just start canceling channels. Like, look at what Roger went through, and Roger was having chicks on it. Like, so you got the stuff is gonna have to switch. It's gonna have to be created to be able to protect people. And some of y'all, if some of y'all are like, I'm not gonna call nobody incels or nothing like that, but some of y'all act like any life is about change and life is about evolution. And if y'all want to act like y'all just so fucking shell shocked, because y'all got to go out there in real life every fucking day. I don't know why y'all here fronting with us like y'all need to stop. That's all I got to say. So anyway, with that being said, man, it's been a great conversation. We was up for 3 hours. I know I said it'd be an hour and it turned out to be 3. Yeah, like Don Calypso said, I'm lying. But I know I'm not doing this every day, so I do want to kind of show up, the right way with you all and give you all a quality conversation, especially in the mix of me reorganizing this channel. So with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.